hotel complex was threatened by wildfire. He says about 2,500 guests and staff had already fled the ferocious wildfire near Jasper, Alberta, when he ordered the only other remaining lodge worker to turn on the irrigation system. He says the sprinklers created a vapor barrier and stopped a majority of the resort from burning down. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
Weather for B&A Petroleum and Swift Current with multiple locations serving southern Saskatchewan for over 30 years. See B&A Petroleum for all your fuel and propane needs. Weather tonight, mostly cloudy and a low down to 0. Tomorrow, light rain showers, especially late in the day, and a high of 9 degrees. Tomorrow night, rain mixing with light snow and a low down to -2. Friday, cloudy and colder. A few flurries in the area as well, falling down to -5. Game day Saturday, West Final. Mostly sunny, and we're looking for a high of -6. And Sunday, partly sunny, high of -2. Currently, downtown Regina, we got a clear sky, and it is 4 degrees, feels like 2.
B&A Petroleum is a Southern Saskatchewan family-owned business that's there for you. They've been supporting their clients for over 30 years with locations in several communities throughout the southern part of the province. B&A Petroleum is available for all your bulk fuel and lubricant needs with propane at selected locations Monday to Friday. And don't forget, their Cardlock location is accessible 24 hours for your convenience. B&A Petroleum. Fuel you once, fuel you forever.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Regina Motor Products early tire swap offer on now. Book before October 31st to save $10 on an on-rim and $20 on an off-rim tire changeover. Visit Regina Motor Products today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Green is the color, football is the game. We're all together, and winning is our aim. So cheer us on through the sun and rain. Saskatchewan Roughriders is our name. Let's show our pride in the green and white. We will fight, green and white. Sing loud and clear till the game is won. The best is yet to come. Green is the color, football is the game. We're all together, and winning is our aim. So cheer us on through the sun and rain. Saskatchewan Roughriders is our name.
There it is. If that doesn't get you going on a Wednesday afternoon, I don't know what will. Thanks for making time. It is the Sports Cage for Regina Motor Products. You heard the big voice guy talk about the early tire swap. Well, that's over. But now they're on to the winter tire offer. You purchase a set of 4 eligible winter tires before December 31st, and you receive $120 in instant rebates. We got 3 hours for you. What are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about the West Final. Of course, Riders and Lions coming up here on Saturday. The weather takes a turn. If you heard the our high-paid weather guy there, he said it's going down to -6 on Saturday. And when that sun skedaddles, great word, by the way, it's going to feel all of -6. If you're listening out in British Columbia and you're making your way here, dress warm. Bring a few layers. Blanket, toque, or knit hat, whatever you want to call it. It's -6 is going to feel, and that's our first real taste of cold weather. So it's going to be great if you're in the stands, though. Over 30,000 people, loud, cheering on the Riders. We got Rider audio to come. Guess who was on the practice field today? Yeah, that's right. Keyshawn Johnson was back out there doing cardio, getting ready. Said he was a limited. We can start with that, Colson, if you've got the injury report. We can throw it up. If you're watching the stream at sportscage.com, you should be. You see it there. Did not participate, Ajoa Joe. an ankle injury. Interesting. Mario Anderson Jr., the running back, did not participate. But we had Keyshawn Johnson, as you see, limited participation, but he was out there. Shane Ray did not participate again in practice today. And Roland Milligan Jr., yeah, we got him. He was full participation today. So that's the injury report. We're hoping to hear from Coach Mace, maybe Keyshawn Johnson, coming up in moments. Ken Reid from Sportsnet, he's a character. He's a funny guy. He's got a new book coming out. He's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. We're going to talk about that. It's around hockey scouts. We are going to talk some hockey today. We're going to take a little, we got to breathe. It can't just be all football. Got to breathe, right? We're going to talk some curling as well. Eric Francis, NHL Insiders, in hour 2. High school football report. We're going to run down the 6-a-side, the 9-a-side, and the 5A, 12-a-side. We're going to be joined by the head coach of Regina Johnson, who's up against Moose Jaw Central in the 5A Provincial Championship. That is in our high school football report in hour 2. It's for Warren Steinley, MP for Regina Louvain. At 4:40, it's a special one. My co-host, who I'll introduce in moments, him and I go back with this guy. We were there. He's 33 years coaching the Saskatoon Hilltops, 26 years as the head coach. Tom Sargeant will join us in 4:40. He used to teach me. He was my principal in grade 9. There will be some stories shared, for sure. More Rider Audio coming up. Hour 3, let's talk to the voice of the Montreal Alouettes, Sean Campbell, find out about that game last week, and then find out about the Hamilton Tiger Cats coming up this week. And he's also the voice of the Montreal Canadiens. So you got to sprinkle in a little Canadian chat there if you got any questions for him. Professor, I'm looking at you out there. More Rider Audio in hour 3, and then the Junior Football Report. All of our guests join us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Don't be a fool. Pick up a Western Pizza tonight if you don't have supper plans. All those toppings, that juicy cheese, the crisp golden crust, the sauce. If you don't like pizza, they got anything you need on the Greek favorites. Maybe some wings, some ribs. Western Pizza Guest Hotline will be buzzing. And then you are asked to participate. Engage with us on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Prairie Land Rentals, if you got a job coming up fall, winter, they're 600 Albert Street. Pretty good chance they have what you need. Contractors, I know you guys need heaters starting to come up here as it gets cold. You deal with the owner at 600 Albert Street. We want you to participate at 936-6262. You can also call that line, Colson says. We have minutes available. 1-866-767-0620. Someone's picking up that tab if you want to go toll-free. The question I want to ask today, and everybody, again, you've known, if you've been listening for the last week and a half, you know the drill. If you text in and you leave your name and number, you're entered to win 2 tickets to that big tackle football game Saturday at Mosaic Stadium, the West Final. So text in. But the question I have, I thought about this last night. I can't remember what triggered it, but I was like, this would be good to find out from the people, from the Sportscage people. What's the most annoying fan base? It could be CFL. I'd like to keep it to CFL as much as possible. But if you got an annoying fan base when it comes to hockey, maybe it's junior hockey. NHL. Senior hockey. Yeah. Could get some senior hockey in. Text message. What about baseball? If you've ever been to a baseball game. I've been to a Red Sox and Yankee game in both parks. They hate each other. What's the most annoying fan base? I know we had someone message in like at 12 noon when we put out the tease today. Let's go dig it up here for a sec. Try and keep the messages short too, because they're really hard to read. Most annoying fan base in the CFL is most definitely the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That's from Steven in Regina. In Sask, we were born to love our team. It's all we have. However, Manitoba, that pride we have drives them insane. Why else would we feel relief that their season is done? So there you go. Steven, already. Most annoying fan base. Chalk one up on the big board for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. My co-host today, It's been like a month since he's been with us. Chris Harris, my former partner at Global Sports in Saskatoon for 5 years back in the early 90s, where we covered the Saskatoon Hilltops. So when we have Tom Sargeant on, it'll be a trip down memory lane in that. I got a couple of stories for Sarge to see if he remembers. Most annoying fan base, Harry. You've been to a lot of sporting events as well.
Yep.
I know what you would say if it was just most annoying fan. You would go the guy that yells "Baba Booey" on a golf course or something like that.
Yes. For me, the most annoying fan base is anybody that's a golf fan during TV. But sticking with sports, here's an unpopular take. I'd say the Riders.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't mean it in a bad way.
Yeah.
I mean it in the fact that it is very widespread. It goes across Canada. They're everywhere, right? So I don't necessarily I wouldn't say they're most annoying. I would say they're the rabid. They're rabid and sometimes in a bad way, but I don't think they're super obnoxious about it. They just are very passionate.
Oh no, they can. Let's take a long look in the mirror.
PC here.
Yeah,
I got to realize where I am. I just don't buy, and this goes back. I mean, you know my history with Rider fans in this province is decades old, and it's not. I wasn't the most popular guy because I never subscribed to the theory that because I'm from Saskatchewan, I have to be a Riders fan. Mm-hmm. I just don't subscribe to that theory. Mm-hmm. Just like I don't subscribe that I have to cheer for a Canadian NHL team because I live in Canada. I don't buy that theory. I choose not to subscribe to it. So I guess as a bit of rebellion, I chose not to rabidly support the Riders when I was in a position where it was very popular to do so, even in media where you're not supposed to cheer for anybody. You're not supposed to be a Rider supporter when you're supposed to be impartial. So I really took that to heart, and I kind of was the anti-Rider fan, and I definitely got some dog lips over it for sure.
Remember when my seat keeps sinking here?
I remember it 100%. I remember it like it was yesterday.
I know.
What I say.
No, I remember. Well, maybe not. When the Calgary Flames made that run.
Yep.
To the Stanley Cup.
Same thing.
What year is that? 2002?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
And you and I are doing, because down here in Regina, people had Woodsy and Krawchuk and Craig Adam, and then you and I were doing it in Saskatoon. But we were in our 20s. So, it was like, there would be nights that I'd be like, well, I think this could be the last time we're on the TV together. Yeah. You could get away with a lot more back. People just had thicker skin, I think, or I don't know what it was. But when the Flames made that run, and everybody seemed to be cuckoo Flames fan, like I was like, and we both kind of went against it. And we got pulled into an office. I don't know if there was a strongly worded email that basically said, you guys have to jump on board with this. We were like, huh?
Well, we were talking about doing an anti-Flame story. And that
sounds on brand.
Management, and management said, I would strongly reconsider your idea of doing an anti-Flame story for this. And I remember one night it being a tease being thrown from the news and weather person to me, them talking about, people glued around the TV. And I'm like, yeah, these people are glued around the TV, even though they couldn't name 5 people that are on the team. Like, I just don't like it. I don't buy it.
Okay, so already, Kevin in Foam Lake, he's in to win the tickets. He says in the Long Lake Hockey League, the Wynyard Monarchs. If you know, you know. Kevin in Foam Lake. It's a big rivalry there. That's right. Okay, Dylan up in Saskatoon. Sorry, go ahead.
With this topic, there's 2 categories that these rabid fan bases fall into. And they're either annoying because people hate them because they win everything, or people hate them because they act like they win everything and they never win jack. Those are the two categories that these fan bases fall into. And right off the top, we'll exclude American college sports because that's a totally different breed.
True.
People
Good
bleed
point.
their alma mater like it's their religion, and it's totally different than any other league. But because, I mean, you think about the big ones, the easy ones, the Yankees, the Patriots, the Lakers. People hate those teams because they won.
Mm-hmm.
Then you think about the other teams, the Cowboys, the Jets. People think those teams are going to win. The Leafs. People think those teams are going to win every year, and they're obnoxious about it. So that's why people hate that fan base. So you have two very different reasons for why the fan base is annoying. They're total opposite ends of the spectrum, but people hate a winner.
That's
They
funny.
hate a winner.
Because I was wondering about the Cowboy fan, and I don't know if I personally if I put them in the most annoying fan, because I feel the Cowboy fans that I know in the last 4 years have really know what lane they're in now.
Right.
They're like,
They've accepted their lot in life.
they're like, yeah. And then I know a couple of Jets fans, and they are huge Jets fans. Like like the paint the face guy, Jet fan, every jersey known to man.
Yeah.
And they are now it's like they're a big fan, but they're throwing their whole organization under the bus constantly.
And that's annoying about both them and the Cowboy fan base. I would say them more than any other. They are so quick to turn on their team. They're the biggest supporter, but yet at any sign of adversity or a bit of a drought or a bit of they're like, I hate this team. They are the worst. I cannot stand them. I'm burning my jerseys. Like, they're so quick to turn. Like, for me, I think being a fan of a team is you've got to be with them through thick and thin. You've got to be there for the wins and the losses. You can't just turn on them because they've struggled for a few years. I've been a Detroit Red Wings fan for as long as I could spell.
Tim Shovelday, Greg Stefan days.
Yeah, Glenn Hanlon, Bernie Federko, like all those guys. And they've struggled. They haven't made the playoffs in 7 years. Do I abandon ship and find another team? No. I'm a Red Wings fan. That's just the way it is. You got to take the good with the bad. Did I have some good years in the 2000s, early 2000s, and late 90s? 100%. So you got to take the good with the bad.
Steve Yzerman slap shot over John Casey.
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite hockey moments of all time.
Right past his ear. Didn't you have to eat a piece of someone's gitch or something because of that?
It was a little more explicit than that, but it was something along that lines. Okay. Yes.
Man, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are the definite front runners with people texting in. Man, yeah, there's quite a few already. But
the problem with that is, look at where the province is. There's an automatic rivalry with that team. So I'm sure people in Winnipeg would say the same thing about Saskatchewan. And really, are the two fan bases so different?
No, I agree. I think the cities aren't
proximity. Yeah, it's total proximity. It's like it's no different than one college team hating another college team because that's just who you hate. It's a birthright.
The one that I hate, and it usually comes from. See, personally, I wouldn't put Winnipeg fans on that with me because I'm like, we're just the same. You're just a few years older than me. We're the same. Like you're bigger. Yeah. But it's when they go. But who's your NHL team? You guys don't have an NHL team. It's like, hey, you're hanging on by threads, by the way, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, or people in Alberta.
Didn't you lose it? Didn't you lose your team?
People in Alberta. Guy in Calgary is like, yeah, well, you don't have an NHL team. It's like, listen, have you seen? Now they're getting a new rink there, so he can't go to that. But I'm like, 3/4 of your city are people from here, or it used to be that way anyway. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, who's your NHL team? I
find Montreal with those Vuvenzuelas are way more of an annoying fan base than anybody else in the league. I find that annoying.
Good, yeah. Keep them coming on the text line here. There's a lot to get to. Okay, good news out of Rider Camp today, along with who was on the field. We'll get to that in a bit. The Riders lead the league with 9 all CFL selections. It came out today. Not a lot of surprise here. Micah Johnson, Jameer Thurman, maybe a bit there. CJ Revis, who was in the studio last week. Roland Milligan Jr., Tavon Campbell, Keyshawn Johnson, and then our offensive line. You could have put them all on there almost, I think. Logan Furlan, Jacob Brammer, and Jamarcus Hardrick. So good news for the Riders there. Now, when it comes to what was going on the field today, Coach Mace talks about having Keyshawn Johnson back on the practice field.
Yeah, just like we talked about yesterday, just kind of sticking to the plan that we have for him and, get him out moving just a little bit more than we had been. And then, we'll continue tomorrow and then, walk today, might make it maybe look a little bit different for him. And ultimately we'll make the decision, right? So, but like I said, everything's turning in the right direction for all those guys, like I spoke about.
All right. Yeah, he's back on the field. Let's hear from the receiver and Keyshawn Johnson on how it felt to be back on the field.
It was good. The energy that we bring in, that kind of contribute to our offense and to our team. That's big on my end, and just happy to be back out there with the guys.
So there it is. We got Roland Milligan too. Like he was there yesterday. He was a light participant, but today it sounds like he was giving her full bore, and he talks about excited to have the West Final here in Regina.
Very, man. A lot of people don't get this opportunity, and just grateful to be here, be able to be back running around, and have a chance to go to the Grey Cup.
It's good news. We have a wealth of riches on the receiving side of the ball. There's no doubt about that. Everyone sees it. You don't even have to be a huge fan to look and be like, There's a lot of receivers there. Keyshawn Johnson, yes, we need him back. I just again, the old fly on the wall. It's like, what are they talking about? How are they going to juggle this? If I know we had Ed messages in and says, is Michael Hughes going to be starting? I haven't heard anything. I said it yesterday. I'd be shocked if Brett Lawther isn't playing. Like, absolutely, whoa. And he's Canadian. And the whole ratio thing and all that. But on the receiver side, and Don Hewitt was in yesterday, and he talked about Dante Myers, rip the top off, speed guy, all that. Yeah, for sure. But in a game like this in -6, I feel there's going to be somebody. I just feel there's going to be somebody. We're not talking about is it the Joe Robustellis? I don't think they play Picton, but I hope they do. Is it going to be Picton? Now, Keyshawn's he's a good possession guy. You got to like where they were. Actually, Colson, there's one clip here. Like, Harry, you get what I'm saying, right? Like where they are right now.
Yeah, I mean, you think it's such a rare occurrence to think we have too many options, and what is the role that we want these guys to play on this day, given the weather, given the circumstance? Do we want guys that are, like you said, possession guys? Do we want? When I saw Dante Myers on the list as full practice, I'm like, that's great. I love Dante Myers. I think he's a phenomenal receiver. I think he's a dangerous weapon. But does he fit into the scheme that they're going to run on Saturday? Are there better guys? It's almost, like you said, it's an embarrassment of riches. It's too much talent. Now, you almost wish you had a few guys that were a little more banged up so you didn't have to make those tough calls and you just had to go with who you got.
And a Joe, it wasn't practicing today. It looks like ankle. So we'll see how that pans out. Tomorrow's a big day for sure. I just, like you talk, Thomas Bertrand Houdon. I feel like that's a guy we're not talking about right now that could be extremely key come Saturday evening. Of course, they had the week off and the rest, and Coach Mace talked about if the rest he gave the team, and the nicked up players seems to have worked out.
The guys who definitely needed it, that was awesome. And then on the flip side of that, there's guys on this roster who this week, most likely who got to play some, meaningful football on offense or defense, and to me that just provides strengthens the depth of your roster, right? So, anytime you could do that, it's a huge plus. So I thought everything kind of went to plan from that standpoint. Now it's just making sure that everybody that is on the mend to come back, that they are where we think they are, that they can help us play winning football.
Who were you hoping the Riders were going to play, and is it the same as who you thought they were going to end up playing here? Was it BC?
Me, would rather they play BC. Yeah, I think if only from a weather standpoint, it helps. Calgary kind of seemed to have Saskatchewan's number this year. Winnipeg, it's one of those games where the team is going to get up for it, so you can't lay and can't sleep on the exhilaration factor and the motivation factor for beating a rival like that. So maybe Winnipeg wasn't the best option. So I think if you had to pick out of those three teams, I'm glad it's BC out of the three of them.
I said it last week. I wanted to see Calgary just because they beat us twice, and then it's like, okay, now when it matters, and here, Calgary had a great year, surprising year for sure. There's no doubt about it. Roland Milligan Jr., he was asked on how the defense is preparing for the BC Lions. Mm-hmm.
It starts right now in practice and in meetings, just making sure that we talking through situations, scenarios, plays, and all that type of things. And then pre-snap, post-snap, before everything gets wild, and on the sidelines too, just making sure we seeing the same thing on our pads and talking through how they're trying to attack us and attack back.
Nathan Rourke, I guess it's got to worry everybody a little bit.
For sure. Yeah, it's not a guy who's unproven. It's not a guy who you don't know anything about. You know what you're getting. It's a dangerous athlete. So, yeah.
Lots to prove.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, for sure. There's lots of storylines surrounding him alone going into the game, what he brings to the table and what the Riders have to prepare for.
He can he can take that's the thing. Any football. It's like the quarterback that can take off, the quarterback that can scamper a bit, worries me. That's where you got to game plan it against that. And that's what Roland Milligan talks about here on how to counter Nathan Rourke.
You just keep him uncomfortable, man. I mean, he's a person, so he'll make mistakes if you keep him uncomfortable. Nobody's perfect. So just throwing different things at him and just trying to keep him off his game as much as you can.
I got to get to him early. Throw him off the game. -6.
I think that's it in a nutshell. Make him uncomfortable, and whether that means a little extra behind those hits, a little bit more pressure early on, whatever you have to do to knock him off of his game plan. You can't let him be comfortable early on. You can't let him get into a groove. Because if you do, then he gets to control the narrative. And that's, I think, the last thing you want is him being able to write his own script.
A lot of people are getting in for a chance to win West Final tickets, texting in their most annoying fan base or fan base that they despise for whatever reason. Let us know. 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line. The Wednesday edition of the Sports Cage, it's brought to you by Regina Motor Products, where they have their winter tire offer on right now. Purchase a set of 4 eligible winter tires before December 31st. Receive $120 in instant rebates. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, talk more Riders. We're going to talk some hockey and a new book with Ken Reid from Sportsnet. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
All the farmland and equipment you could need are available at auction this fall with Ritchie Brothers. A wide variety of farmland auctions across Western Canada will begin in earnest in October and run into December to get you ready for the next season. With new parcels of land and equipment continually added to their inventory, make sure to visit their website so you never miss an opportunity. Head over to rbauction.com to get started. Again, that's rbauction.com.
If you have a garage door that's running a little rough, you should really have Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists, come out and repair it. Or it may need to be replaced altogether. Yeah, just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in the business for many, many years, because they can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Honey, calling Busy Bee.
Good idea. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
And the puck's dropped on your financial future. Are you skating toward retirement? Don't get caught offside when it comes to your work pension, farm succession, or changing family needs. Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor, and the team at GP Financial Services and Aviso Wealth are your local independent advisors helping Saskatchewan families plan for retirement and beyond. 306-584-2755, gpfinancial.ca. Mutual funds and other securities are offered through Aviso Wealth, a division of Aviso Financial Inc.
Back to Sportscage. Text 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
So we got people from I love it. People from all over texting in. Moose Jaw Warriors. So probably Regina Pat fans. We're asking who are the most annoying fans, the most annoying fan base. We got Tyler out in Melville says most annoying fans in the SJHL by far the Yorkton Terriers. A few years back, Melville beat Yorkton in the playoffs 10-1, and they burnt down our Buffalo on their way back to Yorkton. All right. Burning of the Bison. Mark's saying Rider fans don't put paper bags over their heads and beg for mercy. LOL. A shot at Winnipeg fans there. We got a lot here, and all kinds. Like I said, from senior hockey to baseball to football, dub. We'll get into those. You're allowed to participate. Prairieland Rentals text line 936-6262. But let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. We teased that he's a busy guy. He has to work evenings. Does a show on Sportsnet Central. Ken Reid, he's been on the program before. He's joining us. Kenneth, Blue Jay hat.
Sure.
What's the mood like 3 days? What do you guess? 3 days later,
It's bad. It's I think it's like there's how can I say it? It's like an opportunity lost almost. I think people will eventually come around to what a great season it was, but I think the people that are saying that aren't exactly the diehards. I think the diehards are just saying it was there. Like it was right there, and it was ripped out of the Blue Jays' hands multiple times. There were so many chances to win. So I think that's what adds to the pain. I think going into the World Series, it was hey, this is great. This is free money. We weren't expecting to win anything. But then when it's there, and it's there on so many occasions, and you don't win, I think that makes it more painful.
I want to know the odds. I want someone to go take a pitching machine and throw balls against that wall and see how many before the ball sticks. And I don't know if it was fastball in Pictou County. Have you ever seen a ball stick in a wall like that?
Yeah, there was some fastball. That's when I stopped playing. I'm a real baseball guy. No, I've seen them stick in walls before, but never in Toronto. And to me, that is that run scores. So it's 3-2, and Barger's on second, and there's nobody out. So it's a whole different ballgame right there. But then the next night, you get bases loaded with one out in the ninth, and it's just, I don't know how many chances you get. The baseball gods are putting it on a tee, going, okay, you can do this, and it just, they couldn't finish. If you tell me that Addison, look at this play by Clement. This is ridiculous. They're playing him so shallow, and all those guys have to do is collide an inch higher, and that ball hits the ground. It's just so painful to look at it and look how close it was. It's hard to believe that everything could go against you at one point.
I said to my wife, the place to be watching this, a Las Vegas sports book. People would have been losing their marbles. It would have been off the charts. Like something. Okay, let's talk about the book. Eighth book.
Eighth book.
The next one. Someone give you the idea? Someone give you the idea to write this one?
Yeah, Kevin Hansen, who was the head honcho at Simon & Schuster, he knows I like to tell my hockey stories. He said, I always think that scouts would have a ton of stories. And I said, you're right. So I started calling scouts. This is by no means a how to find a player book. This is let me tell some stories from hanging out in those dingy Sasky rinks, right? Let's go. Let's get at it. Let's Macklin, Saskatchewan it up. Let's go.
Well, I walk into the Graham Tour last week, the big bantam tournament here, and the boys playing, and like the first scout I see, Wayne Armstrong. I'm like, Wayner, how's it going? And you got anything about Wayner in the book?
I think I got stuff about Army, how and Ken Fox, was a scout for Red Deer. He's the guy that drafted Army. He talks about how he knew Wayne, and Army's the perfect. He's the perfect hockey specimen because Mom's the figure skater. And Wayne's elbows up in the chicken wire, right? Gooning it up. The old Wayne Armstrong special, right? In Lloydminster. It's, what is it, a half a Pepsi, a bag of Fun Dip, and a punch in the nose, for $2 at the canteen.
Everybody knows scouts. And we just had the Western Professional Scouts Foundation put on a great event on the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. And you hear some of these stories. And it's the grind. What can you give people as a tease in the book? Something, maybe a little story of something that is like you're going to want to read it because it's like two guys talking over a beer.
That's it. Well, boys, these guys remind me a lot of us when we were trying to break into the media. It's a grind. They remind me of my brother, who's a successful stand-up Canadian comic, and by that I mean he has his own car and his name's on a lease. It's a grind. My brother used to drive my Pontiac Sunfire from Calgary to Fairview, Alberta for a $50 gig. There's a scout in this book. He starts out in the OHL and he's hitchhiking to games because he doesn't have a car. He's hitchhiking to games to scout in the Ontario Hockey League. So if that doesn't reek of passion and want, I don't know what does. Like if you got to hitchhike to work, that's dedication. I don't care what your vocation is. So yeah, Jeff Toohey, he was scouting in the O early in his tenure, his first job, and he's hitchhiking to games. So whatever it takes.
Is there one trait you would say these guys all have? There's some, like one characteristic that they all possess that they need in order to do this as a lifestyle?
It's not a physical trait, but it's a mental one. They have to love it, like just beyond. I mean, we can sit through a midget game, right? Maybe that we don't know anybody there. Can you sit through 6 of them back to back all day at a tournament? Can you just go to a AA game when you know no one there on the off chance that maybe you'll find someone? These guys just love it. Like it's almost to the point of sickening, how much they love the game, and they're kind of what makes everything work. They're like the best boy grip or the assistant sound guy in your favorite movie. They get no credit, but it doesn't happen if they don't do it.
It's missed flights. It's car rentals being, but obviously the roads in Western Canada, the Maritimes would be awful as well, getting from point to point. And then I see it now. You're eating. Like your eating habits are out the window.
Walking coronaries.
Absolutely. In the business we're in, we work weird hours. We got to watch what we eat. These guys are the same. It's rink food. It's hopping rides with buddies. It's funny too because they all get along. A lot of them share rides together, but nobody shares state secrets, right? Like there's so many things you can talk about, but you just can't talk about your state secrets. So I like that there's a fraternity of these guys. They all respect what each other does, but they'll only go so far in what they'll share. Like they're not going to share what their GM's looking for or what they think about a particular player, but they'll share everything else. And I think that's where the stories come from, right? From the book, because you're driving in a car across the prairies, you got to talk about something, right? So all these stories pop up, and I'm sure you guys know Archie Henderson. He's just a beautiful storyteller. So Archie's featured prominently in this book. And there's just a lot of fun stuff that I didn't think I'd end up writing about when I talk to scouts, because I think a lot of people just think scouting is just, okay, does this guy get pucks in deep? Does he skate well up and down his wing? But it's a mental grind too, right? They got to establish trust with these players. It's like hiring for any job. If you're hiring for a restaurant cook, well, you have two guys. You have one cook that's just the best cook in the world. He's the best, but he's a little off his rocker. Or you have another cook that's really good. You're going to get the really good cook and try to teach him to be the best, aren't you? So that's kind of hockey scouting.
The hockey card books, absolutely loved them. It was a trip down memory lane, absolutely. Seeing cards that I either had, or like the bad airbrushing, or the glittery curtains behind the guys, or just the horrible photographs. It's like, this is the best photo you had of these guys.
I know.
Do you have anything in the hopper now? I know the ink is still dry on this one, but what's next, or what do you want to do next?
I just took a break from writing to pop on with you guys here, and now I'm taking my kid to hockey practice, so I'm done writing for the day. But yeah, let me see what's behind you there. We got the crease, we got Detroit Red Wings. I was just trying up a little something about the Detroit Red Wings. I take it you guys both are children of the 80s. You both grew up in the 80s.
77 birth date, 76. Yeah.
You'll like what I'm writing about. Yeah, you'll like what I'm writing about next. That's all I can say for now. You'll be entertained.
Sweet. And Harry's a big book guy, so
that's good. Harry got a lot, Harry. That's awesome, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, there's one little tidbit in here. There's some sort of tie-in with the Tragically Hip, isn't there? I read somewhere.
Oh my God! So this is wild. So again, like you set up to write a book on hockey scouts. So there's the scout in the book named Paul Henderson, and Paul taught me that lead with empathy. This is just a wonderful man. Like, holy smokes, I've never met anybody like him. And Cam Russell, who's the GM of the Halifax Mooseheads, I wanted to know how Halifax has this pipeline to Europe. And he said, Paul Henry. He goes, and you'll never meet anybody like Paul Henry. And I haven't. So we start talking about, I run into Paul at a hockey luncheon. I don't even know it's him at the start. And we start talking. I'm like, oh my God, this is Paul Henry. And his background is he is a psychologist. He goes from psychologist to doing a favor for a buddy with a couple teams and doing a favor for a buddy with the New York Rangers to hired as a Rangers part-time psychologist, part-time hockey scout. And he takes his career into hockey scout. But his background, obviously, he's a psychologist. He was the psychologist in Kingston during, the 38 years old song, 12 men broke loose in 73, Millhaven maximum security. Paul was the psychologist at that prison when the escape happened. He says it wasn't 12, 15 escaped, one came back because of the flies. It was 14, but they wrote 12. He figures for poetic license. So he knows all about that story because he was actually the psychologist at that prison at the time. And
Crazy.
I'm like, and now he's one of the greatest scouts to ever live, which is amazing.
Jeez. All
that's
right.
amazing.
So where do people get it? Obviously online, or do we got to go to? Should we go to the bookstore in the mall right by the food court?
Please support your local bookstore when you buy the next one. You can get it online or wherever fine books are sold. Support your independent bookstore if you can. They're like the scouts of the book world, right? They keep it going. So, if you know somebody with a local bookstore, go down and buy the next one. And I just did a video on Instagram. I'm not a big Instagram guy, but I discovered something about this book that really makes it work. And if you check out my Instagram handle, it's at Ken Reid Sportsnet. You're going to see what's really interesting about this book. And I didn't really know about it till I got it. So that's my tease.
Old-fashioned tease. There it is. Yeah, perfect.
That's my tease.
You set it up. Aren't you coming this way? Aren't you coming this way sometime soon? You're in this.
I was supposed to be in Macklin Saturday night, but it was Game 7. It was Terry Ryan and I for the Macklin Sportsman's Dinner, and I couldn't go. So shout out to all the people in Macklin who totally understood that I had my main job as anchor, and they were not going to give me off Game 7. That wasn't going to happen. So big thanks to Macklin. I hope I can make it next year. Well, and Macklin's also known at their canteen for the Wayne Armstrong special too, but that's a punch in the nose, hockey, and something else. You'll have to go to the arena.
Okay. Well, I'm sure somebody's listening out there in some small town. They're like, we got to bring that guy in to come and speak at our sportsman dinner.
Me or Wayne.
Both. That's a combo.
It's a double bill.
Colby, meet Colby, Wayne, Riley, and Terry Ryan. That'd be a hoot.
Riley. Oh, what an underrated riot that guy is.
Wow.
Many nights at the Patricia Hotel.
God, the Armstrongs are a beautiful family. They're Saskatchewan's first family. I know a lot's made about the Howes. All due respect, Gordy and company, but I'm telling you, they are the most Saskatchewan people ever. They're lovely. Them and the Shens should have Saskatchewan off. See who wins.
There we go. All right. Any teapot updates? Quick.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, I just got this in. This is unscripted, by the way. So my cousin and T went fishing. Okay. And I get this picture. Hold on. I'm going to see if this works. This is coming up. This is Teapot. If anyone doesn't know, my last book featured Teapot. He was my hometown hockey hero. Soft as hands east of Montreal. Never seen a man score like this before in my life. And so my cousin went fishing with the sweet one. Oops. And here they are on the wharf after they came in. Where the heck is it? Right here. That's the sweet one in the yellow. See if I can get it there, boys.
There we go.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's T in the yellow. That's a little bit of a T Una. And that's my cousin Tyler on the other side of the fish.
Right on. That's awesome.
You can't get those in Saskatchewan.
No. Well, I never know. You're north of Flin Flon there in that Creighton area. You never know what you're going to dig out of it. Yeah.
Rivers are deep.
Yeah. All right, Kenny, let's catch up again. Best of luck with the book. Anytime. Appreciate it. Sounds like an awesome read.
Thanks a million, boys. And keep reading. And like I said, Halloween's done. I wanted people to pass them out for trick-or-treat gifts. They could have bought 50 at a time. Do the same thing for Christmas, you know?
Yeah, there's a lady in Melville.
Things are those things you crack at dinner.
Yeah. There's a lady in Melville that hands out mitts. She knits them all year, we found out, and then she hands them out at Halloween, or used to. So that's Sasky.
Wow,
that's Sasky. That's Sasky.
Is she a millionaire? I thought everybody from Melville's a millionaire, right?
Have a good show tonight. See you, Ken. Ken Reid from Sportsnet joining us. Great book. Harry, we'll have to talk about that a little bit more up against the clock here. I know you're a big reader of literature. With Sportscage, we're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and always on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
Howdy, y'all. Wood Country Woody here. I was looking at the Farmer's Almanac the other day, and it says we're in for glacial cold this winter. So I went straight to Wood Country for John's Manville Insulation. Just none finer at keeping things toasty and saving all kinds of cash on the heating bills. Keep the heat in the house and the cash in your wallet with John's Manville Insulation from Wood Country in McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale.
Your home is your castle.
Wood-country.com.
Harvard Heals with the annual Jim Pattison Children's Hospital Radiothon.
Hi, I'm Christy Kitts. I'm the mom of Hudson Kitts, who was diagnosed with medulloblastoma, SHTP53, which is a rare form of brain cancer. The news was absolutely devastating to us. It literally felt like our whole world was just crashing down on us. Hudson's hometown hockey team name is the Langenberg Warriors, so everybody back home was calling him a true warrior because he was just facing everything with such remarkable bravery. From the very beginning of our journey at JPCH, we felt cared for, and not just like that they cared for Hudson, but they cared for our entire family. Hudson has 2 younger brothers, and the hospital staff, they just made sure that they were always welcome, whether it was giving them snacks or there's little games that they could play or things like that. And I mean, even when there was doctors and nurses in the room and it was a little bit crowded, they never ever made them feel like they shouldn't be a part of what Hudson was going through, which was amazing. So we know that the compassionate environment at JPCH, it just made such a huge difference in how we cope with the situation as a family and in how well Hudson recovered. Hudson is in remission and he is just doing incredible. Like, he looks great, he feels great. To look at him today, you'd never know that he went through brain surgery, 31 sessions of radiation, and 9 cycles of chemo. He's just a super incredible kid, and we're just super proud of him. I just really hope that sharing Hudson's story today, that the listeners are going to be inspired to support Jim Pattison Children's Hospital. We feel incredibly fortunate to have this hospital in our province, And I know Hudson is thriving today because of that care that we received. So can everybody just please pick up the phone and please make your donation. Do it for the kids. They're the ones who need it the most.
Donate now. Call 1-888-808-KIDS. That's 1-888-808-5437.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know. That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
This fall, the eyes of Canadian university football turn to Regina. The University of Regina, City of Regina, and U Sports proudly host the 60th anniversary of the Vanier Cup, Saturday, November 22nd at Mosaic Stadium. It's the first time Regina welcomes this historic championship, showcasing the best in Canadian university football. Tickets start at just $10 for youth and students, $20 for adults, and kids under 5 are free. That's Saturday, November 22nd, Mosaic Stadium. Get your tickets now at vaniercup.com.
Getting in on more of the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Then sit back, watch the game, grip your chair, and high-five anyone nearby. Every bet is 100% legal with the chance of winning cash in hand. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262 for Prairie Land Rentals. Renting heaters, skid steers, and most power tools for all those winter jobs. And your official Husqvarna snow thrower dealer. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. It's time for the Sports Ticker. Brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Bundle and save with Reliance Heath. Rent a new water heater and softener together and get $400 cash back. Call on Reliance Heath today.
Interesting news in the CFL. Ryan Dinwiddie, former guest of the show, has been hired on as the Ottawa Red Blacks head coach and GM. Riders on the practice field. Keyshawn Johnson was practicing today. Roland Milligan Jr. also. No Shane Ray, no Mario Anderson, and no Ajoa Joe. Says an ankle. U17 Men's World Championship in Nova Scotia, no games today. They fire back up tomorrow. Western Hockey League. Tonight, Swift Currents at Brandon, Calgary's and Moose Jaw, PA's in Lethbridge. SJHL, Yorkton visits LaRange, Flin Flons in Melfort. Prairie Junior Hockey, Fort Knox, and Assiniboia, 7:30 in Assiniboia. Male U18 AAA, Pat Canadians are in Notre Dame. Tisdale is in Warman. Canadian Mixed Curling Championships in Assiniboia, Newfoundland at 2 p.m. That's who Saskatchewan's Jason Ackerman is playing. No update on that one yet. Sportscage.com poll today. What is the most essential factor for the Roughriders to beat BC in Saturday's West Final? You can vote at sportscage.com. The ticker is for Reliance Heath. Rent a new water heater and softener together. Get $400 in cash back. Call on Reliance Heath today. Take a break. Eric Francis is coming up in hour 2. More from the Riders. And Tom Sargeant, head coach of the Saskatoon Hilltops. It's the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
Listen weekdays at noon for Saskag Today on CKRM with your host, Ryan Young. Offering the most extensive agricultural news coverage with precision weather meteorologists in an industry that moves fast. Stay updated with the latest, most reliable information in ag news, crisis and trends, all in one place. Available anytime at saskagtoday.com. Saskag Today, your trusted source for all things agriculture. Sponsored by Affinity Credit Union on 620 CKRM.
Good Wednesday afternoon again from the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital Radiothon this year, helping raise money for hearing health. Extra incentive on the go until 4 o'clock. For every $25 donation, you're entered to win a brand new snowblower. Ego Power Plus cordless snowblower from Canadian Tire. So thanks to Canadian Tire. Again, that's on the go until 4 o'clock. Joined alongside Kinley Winter, senior speech language pathologist. Kinley, just tell us about what an everyday would look like for you around here.
So each day coming into work might look a little bit different for me. Majority of my day is spent directly working with children and their families. So you can find me completing assessments to determine a child's current level of functioning. You can find me in therapy, where I play with children and educate parents on how to effectively interact with their child to develop listening and communication. Or you might even find me in appointments alongside our audiologists, activating children's cochlear implants, or in the sound booth as a second tester. When I'm not in a session with a family, you can find me providing continuing education to other professionals in the province, completing referrals for children who are needing additional support or evaluations, consulting with rural speech therapists or schools on how to work with this unique population, or continuing my own education and learning to ensure I am offering the best possible services to families in Saskatchewan. So these new sound booths are going to have a tremendous positive impact, not only for our department, but for all children and families accessing hearing health services through Saskatchewan.
Kinley Winter, thank you so much for popping on by. And of course, we encourage you to pick up the phone, 1-888-808-5437, or online at pattisonchildrens.ca.
Ready to raise your shower game? Rent a water heater and water softener together from Reliance Heath and turn every shower into a spa-worthy experience. Right now, when you rent a new water heater and water softener together, you'll get $400 back, sent by check after installation. Why settle for meh when you can upgrade your whole home's water and get big cashback savings? Don't miss out on this limited time offer.
Call on Reliance.
Call on Reliance Heath today.
Experience counts, and Louis Dreyfus Company's team has over 150 years of combined expertise. Act before October 31st with the LDC Next Era program and receive extra rebates. This program carries a higher premium, trucking incentives, and varieties that have proven better yields. Choose varieties like the Liberty Link 3901 or 3018 or the new Optimum Gly 4970. Louis Dreyfus Yorkton, 877-782-8882 or ldcyorkton.com.
Fall means pumpkin spice, falling leaves, and slippery roads. When the temperature drops, so does your tire's grip. Enter Quality Tire. Don't wait for that first icy morning to find out you need new tires. Quality Tire will get you into the right set for the season, so you can stop quicker, handle better, and keep smiling all season long. Stay ahead of the frost with Quality Tire. Trusted for the road ahead, with 9 locations across Saskatchewan.
QualityTire.ca.
This fall, the eyes of Canadian university football turn to Regina. The University of Regina, City of Regina, and U Sports proudly host the 60th anniversary of the Vanier Cup, Saturday, November 22nd at Mosaic Stadium. It's the first time Regina welcomes this historic championship, showcasing the best in Canadian university football. Tickets start at just $10 for youth and students, $20 for adults, and kids under 5 are free. That's Saturday, November 22nd, Mosaic Stadium. Get your tickets now at vaniercup.com.
We are 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station, broadcasting live from downtown Regina.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news. Farm groups were able to see several positives in the federal budget. President of the Canadian Federation of Agriculture, Keith Curry, is glad to see previous announcements such as changes to agri-stability and the advance payments program mentioned again in the document.
Now it's our job to make sure the government understands where we can apply budget announcements and how it'll help agriculture not only be better for our producers and our farmers and our ranchers, but also for the Canadian economy as well.
Meanwhile, federal Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre argues the Liberal budget will make life more expensive for Canadians. The budget tabled yesterday projects deficits of nearly $80 billion this year and falling in the years to come, as the Liberals cut program spending and allocate more money to infrastructure. But Poilievre took issue in question period today with measures that strengthened the industrial carbon price.
Homes take steel, they take aluminum, they take concrete and cement and glass. The industrial carbon tax drives all those things up. With our youth unable to afford homes, why don't they get rid of this tax so that we can bring down the cost of housing? Yeah.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says most of the budget is about defending Canada's sovereignty, with a balance of spending aimed at making life more affordable for Canadians. Members of the Saskatchewan legislature gathered with dignitaries, veterans, military personnel, and public servants today for the annual Service of Remembrance. Premier Scott Moe said the ceremony honored Canadians who served and those who died defending freedom. This year marks 80 years since the end of the Second World War, when more than 1 million Canadians served and 45,000 were killed. After the ceremony, Moe laid a wreath at the Saskatchewan War Memorial outside the Legislative Building. A group of Saskatchewan NDP MLAs say they may explore new rules around using the notwithstanding clause after Premier Scott Moe supported Alberta Premier Danielle Smith's recent decision to use it to end a teacher strike. The MLAs, Nathaniel Teed, Nicole Sauer, and Jacqueline Roy, told the Saskatchewan Federation of Labour they want to protect the right to collective bargaining. They are reviewing Manitoba's Bill 50, which would require governments to consult the Court of Appeal before using the clause. The NDP says it wants feedback as it considers its approach. The American government lawyer defending U.S. President Donald Trump's global tariffs encountered tough questions from U.S. Supreme Court justices at one of the most closely watched oral arguments of the term.
Administration lawyer John Sauer argued a 1977 law gives the president emergency tariff powers.
The way to control imports traditionally has been to tariff them.
But the law at issue uses the word regulate, a point seized on by conservative justice and Trump appointee Amy Coney Barrett.
Has there ever been another instance in which a statute has used that language to confer the power?
In another show of skepticism, Trump appointee Neil Gorsuch aired his concerns about an erosion of Congress's authority.
What president's ever going to give that power back?
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks. 1865 McCarra Street. Weather tonight, mostly cloudy and a low down to 0. Tomorrow, light rain showers, especially late in the day, and a high of 9 degrees. Tomorrow night, rain mixing with light snow and a low down to -2. Friday, cloudy and colder. A few flurries in the area as well, falling down to -5. Game day Saturday, West Final. Mostly sunny, and we're looking for a high of -6. And Sunday, partly sunny, high of -2. Currently, downtown Regina, we got a clear sky, and it is 4 degrees, feels like 2.
For 40 years, the team from Line X Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment, ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Line X Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Regina Motor Products early tire swap offer on now. Book before October 31st to save $10 on an on-rim and $20 on an off-rim tire changeover. Visit Regina Motor Products today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. Hour 2 of the program today. We got Eric Francis, our NHL insider, coming up in a bit. We're going to talk clutch performer. We're going to talk about the Pats game last night. I was there, watched it with my eyeballs. What a finish. Sprinkle of the day. High school football report, and Tom Sargeant, legendary football coach, will join us in this hour. Former teacher of mine. Oh, we had some run-ins. Sarge and I had some run-ins. Really weird. Like, Ryan Dinwiddie, and I'm sure there's good decisions made on his part, GM and head coach in Ottawa. So, no one was talking about that one. It was like, Henry Burris, maybe who else was in the mixer
Were
there?
they saying it like that?
Yeah, that's exactly. Henry Burris.
Henry Burris.
But yeah, Ryan Dinwiddie in Ottawa. A lot of people texting in wanting to know thoughts on it. I don't know. I'm probably as confused as you are. He was on the show. Seems like a dude. That's for sure.
It's funny, as soon as you said that going to break, I was thinking, did I miss that the Argos fired him? Did I not hear that story? But no, he leaves after 5 years. A really good record. This season notwithstanding, he's 46-22, not counting this year. Pretty good mark as a CFL head coach. You can't ask for too much more than that.
Nick Arbuckle, Grey Cup victory in not mic drop. See you later.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Weird.
Maybe things aren't that great in Toronto.
I think we kind of knew that going into this season, though, right? There was already talk of that. Like, is the rudder kind of coming off this ship? We don't know who the quarterback's going to be. They cut Kadeem Carey for reasons we couldn't comprehend. So I don't think they were in great shape to start the year. So obviously things didn't get any better posting that 5-13 record.
And it's the old adage saying is, if you're gonna cook supper, you want to buy the groceries. So now if you're the manager, you get to make the decisions. And that's the progression that he wanted, that most would want, and that's probably not going to happen in Toronto. So the writing's on the wall. He gets to move to Ottawa, nice city, not that far away. Organization's a bit of a dumpster fire this year, but I would wager, if I could, and I don't think anybody has this, they get 4 more wins next year with him as the boss.
Right. Just automatically?
I'd say 4 or over. What did they have this year?
5-13. Oh, Ottawa, you mean?
Yeah. What did Ottawa finish?
7-11?
Did they even finish the season?
7?
Did they forfeit their last game?
7-11, I think.
No, 4-14. 4-14.
Jesus.
You were way off. 7.
I thought they finished ahead of Toronto.
You're thinking of the Ottawa Renegades from back in the day.
That's right. Oh yes.
So
thinking of 1997.
So I'll give them. I said it. I said it. November 5th. Egg on face graphic can come out later next year. This time, I'll say they got 8 wins next year. I'll
take the under.
Yeah. Well, probably the safe bet would be the under. I'm a gambler, Jerry.
Gotta let it ride, Daddy-O.
you know, you gotta let that ride. Other than that, good for him. Seems like a good guy. Seems like a guy guys want to play with. I'm sure there's a lot of confrontation because he's not a rollover guy. I've always found, like, Bob Dice, everyone, nice guy. Wasn't it Frenzy? Nice guys run the Kinsmen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to coach and you want a guy to kick you in the arse, get you moving. So yeah, that's
business, not show friends.
Oh, I love that line. Get that tattooed. So yeah, that's my comments on it. If you got comments, 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line, fire away, and then you'll be added to win tickets to the West Final. Our question today that we had, most annoying fan base out there. Like to keep it to the CFL, but we're getting a lot of SJHL, WHL, hockey. So the thing, you get Leaf fans and Hab fans going against each other, and it is like instant theater.
Yeah, it's a tie. You're both annoying. You've won Jack this millennia.
Frank goes, Hab fans are the worst by far. If they win, my phone goes nonstop. If they lose, I don't hear a word, except it's the Leafs' fault. And as a Cowboys fan, I just put my head in a hole like an ostrich. Frank, that's good.
It is. That's funny. There's a few people that I know that are both Habs fans and Cowboys fans. And I don't know how that connection comes to fruition, but that's not a rare occurrence to have those people cheer for both those teams. And I don't know, I don't even know how the one becomes the other, but that's not a weird combo.
Brian, 1970s, 1980s, Montreal Canadian fans. They've mellowed since, he says. There was another good one here. Where was
the
it?
Other interesting thing is what constitutes an annoying fan base? Because people might argue that people in Philadelphia aren't an annoying fan base because they throw batteries at their players or they eat horse poop when their teams win. Like that's if that isn't what an annoying fan base, like, because on a lot of lists that I've looked at, Philadelphia fans show up there just because they're sheer lunacy and how rabid they are. So it all depends on what your criteria is for annoying fan base.
ones that annoy
It's
you.
very subjective.
Or you despise. You could despise. Like, I was a Patriots fan. I get it. People despised us and hated us. It was a heck of a run.
Right.
And
it's like I said, winning. They hate winners. People hate winners.
And then now it's like getting to that point again where they're like looking good and people are like,
yeah,
I hate you.
Yeah.
I'm like, good.
People are like, look who's back on top.
Drake May. May. Tom Brady's cloning dogs.
They said it
Drake
couldn't be
May's got the
done.
Patriots buzzing. Rod, do you know what the status on Shane Ray is? No, we don't. Just that he didn't practice again today. So none of us like the sounds of that. There was a really good. Where is it here? Somebody really put it into perspective on fans, and it's something about the Leafs and Winnipeg. Like, Winnipeg is definitely the front runner. We got Laura, Ken, and Tom are all saying Winnipeg the most annoying.
There's a few take geography out of it.
Well, Pat and Wes, and there's one other. They're saying Saskatchewan. They're saying Saskatchewan fans, kind of to your point at the beginning of the show.
I appreciate that.
Keep them coming. 936-6262. Prairieland Rentals text line. We're waiting for Eric Francis. Keyshawn Johnson is back on the practice field today for the Riders. Limited. Roland Milligan Jr. was full bore. He was going at it. Let's go to Mace 4 here, Colson. Because Harry and I talked about it, especially when it comes to the receivers. What are the decisions that are going to be made? Who's doing that? The kicking, I think Brett Lauther plays. If I'm wrong, that would be wild if he's not in. But Coach Mace talks about how tough are the good decisions he has to make with a healthy roster going to be.
Truthfully, it's always tough to let somebody know that maybe they might not be going to a game, like this. So when we're in a situation where, there's so many good options, it's going to be tough regardless. But on the plus side of that, you know that you got a lot of players to choose from that you can help the team. So always tough, but happy it's this kind of tough.
So when we were talking about this before, here's the thought I had about this problem.
Mm-hmm.
If, let's just say the Riders make it to the Grey Cup, or even if they lose this week and they lose the Grey Cup and they lose, how easy is it to say that they could have taken, like, especially where they fall short? Let's say they fall short in the defensive secondary part of the team. How easy would it have been to get rid of some of that wealth of talent that you ended up sitting on the bench because you had too many healthy bodies to plug a hole that ended up being your shortcoming? Will that be kind of the obituary on the Riders, that they were too deep in one spot, let's say too deep in the Rider spot, in the receiver spot, where they could have dealt one of those guys away and brought in somebody to plug a hole where ultimately ended up being their downfall? Just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, no, good question. I don't think that being such a small league and trades
it's so tough to trade.
Plentiful,
I know.
And then you just can't go and we're going to go to the minors. We're going to grab this guy. It's like you got the guy working at Foot Locker and you got to convince him to come up or whatever he's doing. He's starting his job as a real estate salesman in Kennebunkport, Maine. And it's like, hey, you still got that desire to play in the league? Like, it's hard. Like, that's where and Jeremy O'Day, one of the last guys to show his cards and talk about it. But maybe when it's all said and done, he'll be like, okay, so get this one. I called this guy. He's an, underwater welder, and but he still wants to play, but he's making $500 a year in the Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
Hypothetically. Don't hold me to that, people. That'd be a great story.
There's a guy
if it's true.
in the Gulf of Mexico?
And he's back playing. There's always that, what if. The the other thing, and I was going to kind of maybe save this tomorrow with Sharky or talk about it on Friday. I'm not saying this as a homer. I'm saying this as a little bit of a gambler. Is I do not think the Riders are going to lose to BC.
Right.
Personally, I don't think they're going to lose.
Right.
I think they're going to go to the Grey Cup. Grey Cup, you got to get back to me next week to see how that goes. We're going to talk to Sean Campbell, voice of the Montreal Alouettes, in hour 3 and go through the Als. The one thing I dread, though, is if they lose this weekend, even so much in the Grey Cup, we're going to get those guys that go like, got to get rid of Mace, or got to get rid of O'Day, and got to get rid of Reynolds. It's like, oh, grab a spoon and ram it in your eyeball. Like, that makes no sense.
No.
What more do you want? Look at the trajectory that we are on the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Mace
not winning.
Can't snap the ball and throw the ball and run the ball. He can put all the pieces in place. Ultimately, it's up to the players. I feel like that would be such a knee-jerk reaction. No, clean house. Like, it's a little bit reactionary for my liking. I would find it hard to fathom that would be a sane person's rationale for the postmortem on the season.
I screwed up the time with Eric, so he's hopefully coming here right away. Okay, can we go to let's do Clutch Performer while we wait, because I want to get this out of the way. This was actually pretty good last night. If you got, I don't know who was all at the Regina Pats game, but got it, Colson? Okay, here we go.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
Okay, I went to the Pats game last night. Haven't been able to go to a lot of games. Speaking of annoying fans, the people at the Pats games, that want to get rid of the coach, and they think that they can coach a team in the Western Hockey League that is made up of okay grinders and players. So Calgary rolls in here last night. Calgary, it looked like almost at times a father-son game. They were like men. They were big and strong and fast and good. Schlenker in net is making ridiculous saves. The Hitman second and third goal are like legit goals. Like those goals are scoring probably on Vasilevsky. Okay, so let's keep that in mind, people. And I'm just like, it's I Love Regina night. Good crowd, fairly good crowd, and I'm just going, this could get out of hand. Like this, Harry, you and I covered the Blades when it was like, oh my, who are the people in the stands here watching this? But I was like, let's not have a 7-1 game. There's a good crowd, all that. They come out in the third period. I don't know what Brad Haroff says, and there's a lot of people that will criticize, like I said, coaching and all that. I think he's got a scrappy bunch. Got a good, whatever they're doing there, and Ryan Smith and the coaching staff, and then Dale Durkatch, obviously. You're playing the cards that you've been dealt, and they come out in the third period, and they start kind of taking it to Calgary a bit. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's all right. Well, lo and behold, they tie the game late, and then Keats Fawcett. Sweet handle, by the way. Guy was unreal. Scored a great goal to tie it up. And then in overtime, 3-on-3, I'm like, oh boy. Calgary's got some men that they're going to have to try and get. But they, and Schlenker does his job, and they do a great job. And then this Keats Fawcett scores in overtime. Place goes nuts. Pats win in overtime. So clutch performer, Keats Fawcett, but just the Regina Pats in general for battling back. They were the WHLs. I think one of the WHLs for sure hottest team. I think PA's a little hotter going into the game. Look at this goal right here. Yoink!
Oh, nice goal.
Yeah, nice patience. Selly, out of control. Dante's losing his marbles in the gondola. Great goal, great win. Clutch performer, mine, Regina Pats. Colson, you said you had one?
Yeah, mine's from a couple days ago, or yesterday, I think it was. Doc Rivers, well-known, well-traveled coach in the NBA. A week ago when they were up in Toronto to play the Raptors, and he said, "What are you guys doing here? You got a baseball game to be at. Why are all you media folk here?" So I was like, that's pretty funny. But then yesterday he was up again, and I couldn't get a video of his comments, but he was like, "Hey, everyone all right? Everyone doing all right?" And the room was just kind of silent. He's like, "Okay, let's talk basketball."
Doc.
So I'm like, hey, I appreciate that he's
keeping it light.
Yeah, keeping it aware. And then somebody asked, because I guess he knows Roberts, the coach for the Dodgers. Yeah, he knows him. So like, yeah, have you reached out to him? He's like, yeah, I texted him. I don't think he's gonna get back to me for a few days. I think he's a little busy. So,
celebrating, crushing.
Yeah, appreciate Doc's sports awareness.
Crushing tequila. All right, clutch performer for Nick Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Let's go to a quick break. Eric Francis is trying to log in. We're going to have him quick. We'll get to that. I screwed up the time. My fault. It's a Sports Cage. We're streaming. Sportscage.com.
The road to the 112th Grey Cup rolls through Riderville. Don't miss a moment of this weekend's West Final here on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network, 620 CKRM. Saturday, we'll have all the action as your Saskatchewan Roughriders host the BC Lions, where the winner will play for the Grey Cup. We'll break down the matchup with a countdown to kickoff starting at 2:30. Play-by-plays at 5:30. The CFL West Final is brought to you by Salford Equipment, Western Ag Professional Agronomy, and the Saskatchewan NDP Caucus. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
Harvard Heals with the annual Jim Pattison Children's Hospital Radiothon, presented by CIBC Wood Gundy.
Hi, my name is Janaea. I'm the mother to Barrett. He is my spicy 4-year-old who was diagnosed with leukemia just before his second birthday in May of 2023. When the AIR team came to pick him up, we knew that he was going to go see JPCH and would be admitted into the oncology program. We'll never, ever forget that day. It feels like it was years ago and yesterday all at the same time. Having the JPCH facility here in Saskatchewan for us means the world. The stress that we went through just with Barrett's journey was already enough. I can't imagine having to access that care and his treatments and everything by having to go to another province or completely relocate to another province because we didn't have the facility required to carry out his treatment program. So having it here in Saskatchewan has been such a lifesaver for us. Having the staff that we've had at JPCH is a huge part of why his journey has been successful and why our family has been able to keep it together for these past 2 years, because knowing we have them in our corner for support, for their knowledge, for their skills has made everything so much easier. We know that Barrett has finished his chemo treatment, but when he rang that bell, it just really solidified that this is done. Having the nurses and the doctors and the clinic staff there during the ceremony just really brings it home that this journey is now complete and we made it. And a huge accomplishment for Barrett and our family that day, and one that we'll be celebrating for years to come. If you have any ability to donate what you can, I would encourage you to do so, because you're helping families like mine and you're helping children like mine. And it is such a huge relief to have this facility right here in Saskatchewan when your child is sick.
Donate now. Call 1-888-808-KIDS. That's 1-888-808-5437.
Proven by countless farmers, 900 Series Fendt sprayers set the standard for your crops, and it's available at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Featuring 370 horsepower, 132-foot boom, 1,580-gallon tank, smart drive 4-wheel steering, and Liquid Logic recirculating boom, the 900 Series Fendt sprayers are backed by a 3-year, 2,000-hour Gold Star warranty. Leaders drive Fendt. To learn more about making your crops successful, visit Nick's Service today. nicksservice.com.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Meet Todd. It's noon. He's really hungry, and his stomach makes sure to let him know it.
Todd, we talked about this. No more skipping meals. I need cheese. I need crust. I need Western Pizza.
All right. Western Pizza it is.
Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today before your stomach starts making demands.
And get it hot, get it fast, pizza.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Lindsay had questions, she talked to Brian Golly.
We looked at all the different investments we had out there. He helped us pull it all together and determine what would work best for our lifestyle.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone.
He's trustworthy and he's very easy to work with.
Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions, 306-546-2533.
The Rough Rider Foundation's 50-50 is heating up. And the early bird prize for the West Final is a week in sunny Costa Rica, or $9,000 cash. But don't wait. The deadline is 5 p.m. November 6th. You could be cheering in paradise or cheering here with a wallet full of winnings. Don't get hit with regret. Buy your 50-50 tickets early at riders5050.ca and go Riders!
Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC. Lottery license LR250011.
Hey, farmers and ranchers, do you want the next generation to know and care more about agriculture? Donate to the Acres for Education campaign by Agriculture in the Classroom Saskatchewan to help get students out of the classroom to experience agriculture. This year, every dollar donated will be matched up to $25,000 thanks to JGL, so your gift will make twice the difference. Donate at aitc.sk.ca/Acres for Education.
Now for Inside the NHL with Eric Francis on the Sports Cage. Inside the NHL is brought to you by Sports Select. Getting in on more of the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer.
It's really tough for me to figure out clocks, how clocks work when everybody's changing. Everybody's changing their time. I know.
Just the look of disgust.
Pigeon move. I get it. Don't have to say anything. Your look is enough. All right. Hey,
that's fine.
Can I throw to you? Obviously, you weren't busy. Just scampered into your library. Let's go most annoying fan bases. We've been talking to people, getting them to text in. Anything come to mind for you when it comes to despised or annoying fan bases?
Oh, I'm scared to say it, but you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Vancouver fans, they take it too far. They just do. I've had one death threat in my life. It came from a Vancouver fan. It's had to get the RCMP involved. It was anyway. That's just not even a hot take around here. Like those. Again, I don't like talking about it because they scare me so much, but I'm going Vancouver. I'm going Vancouver Canucks fans. Like most annoying,
you burn your
most
city
delusional.
down one time.
Yeah.
Burn your city down one time and you pay for it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like I get it. If you don't win the Stanley Cup, the first move is to burn your city down. Like I get it. It's what you do. But anyway, I'm not poking the bear anymore, boys.
When you reported it to the RCMP, did a guy show up like the RCMP officer from Beachcombers? Because I feel they all look like that. Mustache, kind of balding.
They all look like Mackenzie Weegar. It's the guy didn't show up. He talked to me on the phone. And anyway, we don't have to get into it, but it's been a lot of years. But and normally you don't want to take that stuff too seriously, but I'd had enough. Like I'd been pilloried for days on something, and I can't even remember what it was, but it was like, yeah, I'm going to kill you and your family. And I'm like, you know what? That's a little far. I got to go. And that's not why I'm labeling Vancouver fans just because of one psycho. I'm doing it because I just seen enough. I mean, you guys see it from afar. What are your answers? What are people saying? Like, what's your text line saying?
Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Lots of people are saying Saskatchewan fans when it comes to the Riders. And then people are getting into the Moose Jaw, like WHL and all that. And then Montreal and Toronto. People are going back and forth on the Montreal and Toronto thing. Okay, let's keep it on. I'm just picturing you building an escape room or whatever that is in your house. Those safe room. Panic Room. Remember when that movie came out? Oh, speaking of Blockbuster Video, that was classic. Okay, it's an important night for Kadri, though, in Calgary.
Yeah, 1,000 games. You know, it doesn't happen very often. His father was the one who pointed out to me So he's the 410th person to play 1,000 games in the NHL. That's like 5%. I actually thought that number was high. Like 5% of all NHLers in history have played 1,000 games. That seems like a high number to me. But either way, it's a hell of an accomplishment. You talk to any guy who plays 1,000 games in the league, they'll tell you it's right there with a Stanley Cup. Like the two go hand in hand. And in some cases, guys will say it'd be even more important than a Stanley Cup because because they made a ton of money if they made it that long, that's for sure. But I thought it was interesting. Kadri showed up today with Scotty Cameron putters for everybody on the team.
Wow.
Customized, right? I knew I'd get your attention with that one, Barney. And don't get any ideas. I'm not giving you anything. I might give you a 2-footer, maybe a 3-footer if there's no money on the line. But customized Scotty Cameron, so every guy got there's so many different styles. They all got whatever style they kind of like with their name, their number, and an inscription on there for Nazem Kadri's styles of the game. That's pretty good. And like Huberdeau was laughing, going like, it's kind of weird that you have to show up to your own 1,000th game with gifts for everybody else. Like, thought it was the other way around. They gave him a diamond-encrusted necklace because Nas likes to wear a lot of jewelry. And it says 1,000 on it with diamonds everywhere, and a bracelet with all the teams he's played for. So
cool.
Christmas came early at the Saddle Dome today. It's not just about milestones; it's about gift giving. I thought that was interesting.
He likes his drip.
He loves his drip, man. He wears what is that? I don't even know. I'm not in touch. I always thought mostly women wore it with the little. It almost looks like a 4-leaf clover, like is it Van Cleef's? I don't even know, guys. We're not talking jewelry here, but he's been wearing that. No, he's been wearing this chain all year long. And I remember one game a guy grabbed him and it broke. And I'm thinking, I wonder how much that cost, or if you lost it, how much that would cost.
Was it a brooch?
A choker?
Yeah, nice, boys. Okay, we won't talk jewelry on this segment.
Harry, go ahead.
So I don't have anything to back this up other than my belief and my perception that I've seen from my fantasy hockey teams. Is it my imagination, or does it seem like there is a lot of big name talent injured early on, 15 games in the NHL season this year? Does it seem like there's a rash of injuries?
So Barney told me you were going to ask me that today. So I did a little looky into it. And the numbers are pretty similar to every other year. But what I think is because everybody's in on fantasy hockey pools, guys you'd never normally care about in far-off cities that you never read about, the box scores or anything, it just seems like there's more injuries because we read about them more with the way the media is, social media, your fantasy hockey teams. I feel the same way because when he told me you were going to ask that, I'm like, yeah, it seems like there are a lot more. The numbers are the same as the last couple of years at this time. It's just that you hear about them all. And even if it's just a 3 or 4 game thing, you see that he's out day to day. Like Chris Kreider was out for a week, day to day.
Right.
Well, normally no one would know and care because he's in Anaheim and no one cares. But because I have him in my pool and he's killing me, that's when everybody starts to notice these things. So
it just really jumped out. I mean, but you look at some of the names like Nylander, Stone, Robert Thomas, Kane, Tucker, Dubois, Granlund, Miller, Gostisbehere, Duchesne, Hintz. Like there's a lot of top 6 forwards that are out.
Yeah, and pretty much all of them were in my lineup for my fantasy pool team, so I'm well aware. Or at least it just feels that way. It just feels that way. But yeah, there's some big names for sure.
When you were on that swing with the Flames, you grinded. Somehow you got through it last week, but you got to see some of these teams, and with your eyeballs. Which teams do you think from that swing, Flyers, Preds, Sens, Leafs, pass your eyeball test, or which one maybe surprised you in the way that you thought they'd be better?
Yeah, I'd say of those 4, and look, Flyers, it's a facade. They're not going to stick around very long. They're definitely deep in, like at the beginning of a rebuild, and it's not going to be accelerated anytime soon. Ottawa was probably the team that struck me the most. Like I was thinking, every year we hear that they're going to be the team that breaks through out there, and every year they're not. But I saw a lot of real nice pieces out there. And look, when they add Brady Tkachuk, I feel like they're going to really start to do some damage. Toronto does not impress me in the least. As a matter of fact, like you say, what passed the eyeball test? When I saw Toronto, I left there going, yeah, it's not going to be there. You talk about the window that every team has. It's closed, and it's going to get closed even more over the next little while here. I'm not optimistic for the Leaf fans over this year or in the next couple of years. That's for sure.
There's a lot of Mitch Marner hand-wringing going on these days amongst that fan base.
Agreed, as there should be. I mean, I'm not going to say they took it for granted. And listen, I was a harsh critic of him when the games mattered most. He was like most of the Leafs and just disappeared, but probably him more so than anybody else. But for 82 games, you sure do miss him because the guy would put up 100 points, that he was a superstar. And he's a big reason why Austin Matthews had 69 goals a couple of years ago, too. So Matthews isn't scoring like he used to. Nobody is in Toronto. And a lot of it has to do with Mitch Marner for sure.
How was Halloween in Nashville? People want to know.
Oh, my God. Amazing. Like, seriously, like, I guess I should have known. Remember, you're asking because I had said, I wonder what I'm going to see here.
You were doing your exercises. You were doing your exercises on the show getting ready.
That's right, my Kegels. Oh, no, that was a different show. I was doing my, there you go. Okay, so, I was doing my exercises, getting ready for a big night. And we go out to Nashville, and it was, I mean, it's so great there. It's still the best city in the league for fun. And to do it on Halloween night, oh, my God. And my only regret was I didn't bring it. I couldn't believe it. I was so disappointed in myself for not bringing a costume. We were there, and my big brand that I wear, I love Psycho Bunny. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a clothing brand, and I have tons of it. My wife's always saying, you got way too much of it, stop it. And we were talking to this young gal, just because everyone's friendly there, and you're in Nashville, and my buddy says, yeah, he's trying to dress up as a young, hip guy wearing Psycho Bunny. and her response was, young, hip guys don't wear Psycho Bunny. And that kind of hurt, but I probably needed to hear it.
Okay, quick one today because I screwed up the time. But just in case you're both wondering, because I know you're fans, in Stratomatic hockey, injuries are primarily driven by specific dice rolls or action card results during gameplay, which can cause a player to be removed from the current game and potentially miss subsequent games, depending on the severity determined by an additional dice roll on an injury chart.
You're making me so happy right now.
I know.
That is amazing.
You both. That's Psycho Bunny. We got to get Psycho Bunny and play Strato.
Hey, Stratomatic is for young, hip people. That's for sure. Not really. Old guys. I loved it, man.
I know.
God, I loved it.
I know. And Harry loved it, too. We all loved it.
I know. Yeah. What if we had a tournament? Like
in southern Utah when we go golfing. When we go on our golf trip.
Okay, true. Most guys play poker and drink, but forget that. We're going to play. We're golfing all day and we're Stratomaticing all night.
Exactly.
What a bunch
Easy.
of old guys.
And then you're buying Scotty Camerons for us. Be that guy.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk. We'll talk, boys.
See you Friday.
See you, boys. Yeah. Cheers.
Inside the NHL with Eric Francis. It's brought to you by Sports Select. Getting in on Sports Select is as easy as going to sportselect.com. Now simply make your picks online, generate a QR code, lock in your bet, and then just take it to your local Lotto Spot retailer. They scan it, boom, you're good to go. Every bet's 100% legal. Cash in hand, must be 18 plus to play. We'll take a break. We come back. We'll hopefully be joined by head coach of the Saskatoon Hilltops off to the Canadian Bowl, my former teacher as well, and coach, Tom Sargeant. It's the Sportscage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
This fall, the eyes of Canadian university football turn to Regina. The University of Regina, City of Regina, and U Sports proudly host the 60th anniversary of the Vanier Cup, Saturday, November 22nd at Mosaic Stadium. It's the first time Regina welcomes this historic championship, showcasing the best in Canadian university football. Tickets start at just $10 for youth and students, $20 for adults, and kids under 5 are free. That's Saturday, November 22nd, Mosaic Stadium. Get your tickets now at vaniercup.com.
Back to our regular spot, Pump Jacks Cathedral.
You know, I thought Pump Jacks was a kind of boot polish till last month.
What are you getting?
Kerwin's crispy ribs and a cold pint of local craft. Crispy, meaty, beautiful.
You had me at meaty.
Plus, we got live music on the weekends, big screens. This place is basically my second marriage.
And way cheaper than the first.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
Have you ever tried convincing a 1,000-pound animal to walk half a mile for a drink? Yeah, good luck with that. Cows aren't moving, and frankly, they don't care about your schedule. So instead of turning your pasture into a full-blown cattle negotiation summit, install a Keln Solar livestock watering system. You can drop a pump just about anywhere. No grid, no trenching, no drama. So let the cows chill. You move the water. Keln Solar. They move water because your cows won't. Visit kelnsolar.com.
Welcome back to Sportscage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sportscage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back for Regina Motor Products on this Wednesday. We'll get back to the text messages in a bit. Most annoying fan base bunch coming in. Winnipeg still the clubhouse leader. Big news out of the CFL. Ryan Dinwiddie is now the head coach and GM in Ottawa. Riders, Keyshawn Johnson was back on the practice field today. Limited, but he was out there. So we'll talk more about that. But it's Western Pizza night tonight. Pick up a pie or any of the Greek favorites you love. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Joining us, 33 years coaching the Hilltops, 26 as a head coach. Tom Sargeant joining us. My former teacher, my former coach for a brief stint. Sarge, nice to see you, my man. Things are good. And look at you going to another national championship.
Hey, the Global Boys. How the heck are you guys doing? Long time no see. Isn't this something?
Hey, Sarge.
Oh, yeah, life's pretty good. Life's pretty good. Hey, Harry, how you doing? Yeah, life's pretty good.
What Okanagan, they came in here last year and they played the Thunder. I was actually quite surprised. I'm going to get back to an old Hilltops Okanagan memory in a bit, but they rolled in Private Bird. They brought fans. Quite the organization that they've built there in the Okanagan.
Oh, no question. They're very unique. You know, we've been around their story for a long time. And, when I first got into this coaching gig as a head coach, it was Okanagan that was the tough one to kick the door down. We'd got out of our league, and in 98, 99, we lost by 3-1 game. And in the Canadian final in 2000, we were marching through an interception, lost in the last minute to them theirs. And then we're fortunate in 2001 to kick the door down against the Okanagan Sun. And then from there, it's, we've sort of been doing some pretty good work in and along the way. And no question, what a mighty test this weekend. They're talented, great organization. They know how to recruit, and they do it in a certain style. They're a little different. And, as I said, it's been fun to observe over the last, I'd say 15, 20 years.
Sarge, you've obviously been around coaching long enough to see different teams, different seasons, how a season goes. So heading into this, do you feel there's a team that has more of an advantage, that has maybe been more battle tested like you guys have this year rather than a team that's coasted? I don't want to say coasted, but gone undefeated through a season and really hasn't been as battle tested. Do you feel like the advantage lays with that team that hasn't had an easy run of it to the final?
Well, I've been blessed to be on both sides of the ball, and right now I'm on one side, and I like the side they're on. They do make things look pretty easy, and as I said, they're very well coached. They got great athletes, and so it's easy to get into that. Like, look at us. Look how we started the year. Our first game of the year, we get blown out of the water by Winnipeg, 31-11 or whatever. So you think I was thinking about us being in a Canadian final? That's the least thing I was thinking about. So, and hey, look at last weekend. Son of a gun, for 52 minutes, we got outcoached, got outplayed. Simple as that. But, we faced adversity all year. We've dealt with it. And, in the long run, I don't know which way it works until next Sunday at 4:00. But I do know this team is galvanized. The coaching staff's galvanized. And, at the end of the day, what I think, I don't care who's got more talent or whatever. Well, who's the hungriest team? Who wants it the most? And that's what it comes down to. And that's why I'm still digging in film and grinding, looking for this, looking for that to make sure that, when we come out on Sunday at 1:00, we should come out and play our best game of the year. It's game 11. We should, and we're going to need to.
I would have loved to be in the locker room to see that speech, or on the bus on the way after that Winnipeg loss. I'm sure you weren't too impressed. But okay, so the one thing I want to talk maybe about having it at home, I'm still going to call it Gordie Howe Bowl for me. I remember the one year, and I think it was a semifinal. It wasn't the national final, where Okanagan rolls in. Harry, you and I are on Global. And the city, for some reason, decided to scrape the field because there was a little bit of snow. Well, they took all the grass off. They took everything. It was a parking lot. It was hard ground. Okanagan shows up, and they're like, well, what are we supposed to put on our feet? Like, how are we supposed to play on this? And I was a smart aleck, and I still am. I was like, broom ball shoes would be the play if you could muster up 50 of those. But having it at home, Sarge, at Gordie Howe Bowl, do you think that's going to matter much in this one?
Well, you know what? When you get to the big games, sometimes I prefer to get on the road because there's a little more distractions when you're at home and, just everything around it. But, our home surface, we love playing at home. We got great fans and, we're going to be energized for everything. And, hey, the colder it gets, I think the better it is for us. But then you got to go back to about 3 years ago when Okanagan won their first championship in a long time against Regina. That was a cold day. So, that coaching staff, they've been through it too. But, they got a new team. It's all new faces and all of that. And, you go there when it's +8. Well, +8's +8 there. You know what? +2 is not +2 here. So it's going to be different. And that is an advantage because, our Prairie boys are used to, this is what they're used to playing in and what they understand. So, you know what? We're going to hit hard. We're going to block hard and tackle hard. And hopefully when they hit the ground, it's not as much fun as what they're used to.
So when I went through your roster, because now I'm at an age where I'm looking for people whose kids might be people that I know. And I came across Isaiah Valderuten.
Oh.
And I was immediately struck by the fact that he plays both sides of the football. Now, How does this kid from Elizabeth, New Jersey, end up at the Saskatoon Hilltops and allowing Tom Sargeant letting him play both sides of the ball for a storied organization such as the Hilltops? This is a story in itself.
Yeah, you bet. What a great kid Zay is. Yeah, we go for groceries once a week. We have a lot of fun with that. But, well, here's what happened. Number one, our starting safety was a fifth-year player, stud, Dalton Urban. We sent him to Rider Camp. Was doing real well, and goes to the first exhibition game, blows his knee out. Now we're compromised. So Isaiah, we have a recruiting site, so it's one of these dark horses where I start going back and forth, and I'm the worst recruiter in the world. I hate it. I'm not into it. I don't like it. But anyways, we start going back and forth, and it's like, well, you know what? Because I need something now, and his film, two-way film, it's off the charts. And hey, he's from New Jersey, so you think, well, New Jersey's known for tough football. So we get going, and then so I'm in Minnesota, and this is so that the other two guys are from Minnesota. Well, so I'm going to fly him out there. I'm going to put him through some paces and sort of figure this out. Well, He skips the plane. Now I'm fierce. I phone him back. I'm at the airport at 7 in the morning. Like, I'm on holidays. I'm trying, and so I'm just ripping this guy. You're a joke, da-da-da. And done, leave it. And then we just keep going. And he felt bad. And he'd never been on a plane before. So it's, think about it. Could you imagine the first time, never heard of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. So, I could be whatever, but it's amazing how it's turned out. He's come in here, caught that big touchdown, that was just, hey, at the end of the day, you make sure that ball's thrown to him in the big environment, and he makes the play. And it's just been an absolute stalwart all year. So, you know what? That's the first time we've ever brought Americans in. We brought 3 guys in, David from Minnesota, high-end players, Zay. And, hey, we're not in this big game without those 3 guys. I don't really agree with the rule. But it's a rule, and every other team's been doing it. So, it's time, either you complain about it or you just shut up and start doing it, and we'll continue doing it in the future. So that's, in a quick nutshell, that's how that thing worked out, and sure happy it did.
I love it. Okay, awesome. last one I want to ask you, because I wanted to ask you this for a long time, and man, I go back to grade 9 at Bedford Road, right? And you're tearing me a new one up and down the halls.
You deserved it.
And all that, yeah. I did. Wasn't the greatest kid in grade 9. I matured. What's the coach that, when you were younger and as you went on, what was the coach that you looked up to? Did you model yourself after anyone, Sarge?
Well, absolutely. When I just looked based in Saskatoon, I was blessed to start. I finished playing in '87, started coaching with the Hilltops in '91. So, Dave Hardy was a big inspiration to me. And then to work with Kelly Bowers and Doug Humbert, who taught me a lot about, like Kelly with that Bedford background. I was a Bedford guy, and just how passionate, just to make, keep after kids, coach them hard, but make them feel good. And, I'm getting better at it, but I'm still who I am, and you can't change that. But, those were sort of the main guys. But I did a ton of reading as we went along this journey. And, so Vince Lombardi, Bill Cowher, just, those type of styles. But Ralph Schoenfeld, my old high school coach, who, was a coach at Bedford, Scott Farmer. So there's a huge amount of my parents, a lot of people sort of, have a piece within me. But, at the end of the day, I just love to coach. That's what it was. That's what it is. And that's why I'm still doing it now. And, can't wait to do it in the future. But, I know this weekend I got to coach my best game in a long, long time. And so do my coaches. And, I'm challenging there. I'm still challenging like I should and believing in what I should. And, as I said, love what I'm doing. So, hey, Here I am. What a gift.
It's awesome. Well, go and get it. Go and get another one, Sarge. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and great to see that you're still going and can add another national championship.
Okay, you guys mean a lot. I appreciate this. Thank you.
Good luck on the weekend.
Right on.
You betcha.
There you go.
Hey, guys.
Thanks, Sarge.
Iconic coach in the province, Tom Sargeant. Man, 26 years as the head, Harry. It's quite a feat.
You know what's crazy about that is he still has very much the same coaching staff. Shane Reeder still coaches there. Dave Fisher still coaches there. Brent Turkinson still coaches there. Jeff Yowzy still coaches there. Those are guys that have been with that organization for 20 plus years. Like, that alone is, I don't know, I would be hard pressed to think if there's another organization on any sport in any level that has had the success and the cohesiveness and the tradition and the legacy that Saskatoon Hilltops organization has.
It's unreal. They go with Okanagan on Saturday up in Saskatoon. It is the Sports Cage. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
It's the start of a new year. Time to get financially fit. If you're looking to open an RRSP or a TFSA, maximize an existing account, or update your investment mix, Cooperators can provide the personalized advice and service you need. Want to start the new year on the right financial foot? Contact your local advisor to build a plan that works for you. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Good afternoon again from the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital Radiothon. Big thanks to everyone at the foundation for taking care of us throughout the day, feeding us, giving us coffee, and a big thank you to all of you for generously picking up the phone and calling or going online to make that donation. Your help is greatly appreciated and goes a long way to providing best services here in the province. We are so fortunate to have a children's hospital right in Saskatchewan. They do tremendous work. In the last 23 years, over $17 million has been raised for Saskatchewan moms-to-be and children in the hospital. It is incredible the amount of work they do and the generosity around this province. And it's one of those things where, of course, you hope you never have to come to the children's hospital. But if you do, you want the best care for your cousin, your niece, your nephew, maybe a grandchild. Big thanks as well to David and Karen Holst Family Foundation. Every donation will be matched up to $200,000, doubling the impact for kids and families. So your donation doubled just like that when you call 1-888-808-KIDS. That's 1-888-808-5437, or you can jump online to pattesonchildrens.ca. You can read some of the stories as well, some of the miracle stories from the patients that have had to come here. And this year, we are raising money to support hearing services here at the hospital. 1-888-808-KIDS. And thank you with the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital Radiothon.
Extreme Hockey and Sport are your hockey experts. Locally owned, committed to the community and each of their customers. With their customer rewards program, Extreme Hockey Bucks, the price match guarantee, and now proud to announce their new e-commerce platform for ease of purchase and your convenience. Their expertise and commitment raise them high above the competition. Come experience the Extreme Hockey difference. 1425 McIntyre Street, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center and online at extremehockey.net.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know. That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Husqvarna wants you to remember when you were a kid, watching Switchback in the nice warm house while your parents were outside shoveling snow.
Make it quick. I'm watching Switchback.
Well, now that you're the adult and shoveling snow is still a drag, get yourself a Husqvarna snowblower from the local team at Prairie Land Rentals. This is no big box store. You deal directly with the owner who knows Husqvarna and a guy who would always answer, make it quick, I'm watching Switchback. Prairie Land Rental, 600 Albert Street, prairielandrental.com.
Thank you, Rider Nation. The Riders Foundation 50-50 jackpots have been massive this season, and it's all thanks to you. When you buy your 50-50, you're supporting amateur football across the province. It's playoff time, and like the games, the 50-50 gets bigger in the playoffs. Can we get it to $1 million, Rider Nation? Maybe higher. Don't get hit with regret. Buy your 50-50 tickets at riders5050.ca and go Riders.
Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC. Lottery license LR250011.
The 620 CKRM Country Corner is brought to you by Glasses TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, and Foster's Audio Video in Carlisle. Get the newest cell phone today with an amazing SaskTel rate plan.
620 CKRM is proud to support the Hospitals of Regina Foundation Home Lottery. Don't miss your chance to win the incredible $1.7 million grand prize show home. Proceeds support healthcare in Regina's 3 hospitals. Ticket deadline fast approaching November 14th. HRFHomeLottery.com. Take in a great night of Canadian country music with Terry Clark and Paul Brandt at the Connexus Arts Center, Friday, November 14th. Show gets underway at 7:30. Stop by the box office or connexusartcenter.ca. And Mosaic Stadium is playing host to the Vanier Cup on Saturday, November 22nd. Join U Sports, the University of Regina, and the City of Regina for this historic celebration of Canadian university football. Tickets at uregina.ca/events.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sport, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street.
Big CFL news, Ryan Dinwiddie being named head coach and GM of the Ottawa Red Blacks. As for our Riders, Keyshawn Johnson is back on the practice field today, limited, though, in the practice routes. Western Hockey League tonight, Swift Currents in Brandon, Calgary's in Moose Jaw, Prince Albert travels into Lethbridge. Curling, it was Jason Ackerman improving to 5-1 with a 6-3 win in Assiniboia at the Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. AAA, Pat Canadians are in Notre Dame. Prairie Junior Hockey League, Fort Knox is at Assiniboia. Sports Ticker in Hour 2 is for Extreme Hockey and Sport, home of the price match guarantee. They're local, they support local. extreme hockey and sport. Hour 3, lots to come. Junior football, Sean Campbell, voice of the Montreal Alouettes, and a whole lot more. Some high school football, the high school football report as well. It's a Sports Cage streaming at sportscage.com.
620 CKRM, a Harvard media station, broadcasting from Regina, around the world at 620CKRM.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound in Fort Capel. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. The Insurance Brokers Association of Saskatchewan, along with SGI Canada, is launching a 2-year Indigenous Broker Development Program to increase inclusion in the insurance industry. The program supports the recruitment and training of brokers who are First Nations, Métis, or Inuit. Participating brokerages may receive up to $25,000 to help hire and train new workers. Gary Vidal, with the SGI Board of Directors, likes it for 2 reasons.
It's a two-pronged approach to solving some of the challenges we face in our province, especially in our Indigenous communities. One that creates job and opportunity for First Nation, Inuit, and Métis people, and secondly solves a workforce challenge for the brokerages across Saskatchewan.
SGI Minister Jeremy Harrison says the program encourages respectful partnerships and long-term career growth. It was a bag of mixed reviews when it came to the federal budget, which was released yesterday. Executive Director of the Grain Growers of Canada, Kyle Larkin, says they're happy a certain tax change has been completely reversed.
The number one thing we were looking for was the permanent reversal of the capital gains tax increase that's really been dogging family-run grain farms over the past year and their succession planning. And I'm happy to note that finally the government put out the text necessary to formally reverse it.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mark Carney has begun the work of selling his government's budget. He says the fiscal plan is built to meet a crucial time of global trade disruption, deep divisions, and accelerating technological changes.
These profound changes demand a bold response, and that's what we got yesterday. Canada's new government tabled our first budget. We presented a clear picture of what's happening to our economy and what's being taken from us.
Carney says the budget estimates that U.S. tariffs and the uncertainty they are creating will cost Canada around 1.8% of the country's GDP. He says that is about $50 billion lost from the economy. American President Donald Trump's key tool for deploying tariffs faced tough questions from the conservative-led U.S. Supreme Court today.
The attorney opposing U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs told the Supreme Court hearing that the president has torn up the entire tariff architecture, and that's not something that he has the power to do. Trump used the International Emergency Economic Powers Act for his Liberation Day tariffs and fentanyl-related duties. During the nearly 3-hour hearing, the Supreme Court justices parsed the language in the statute that's known as IEPA, particularly the wording about the president's power to regulate importation and whether that even allows for tariffs. Many Republican-appointed justices voiced skepticism, noting no other president had taken such measures. Kelly Malone, The Canadian Press, Washington.
And the Golden Globes says Helen Mirren will receive the 2026 Cecil B. DeMille Award in January. The English actress has portrayed multiple queens, a prime minister, a detective, Barbie narrator, and many other roles in more than a half-century of acting. She'll get the honor during a new annual primetime special that will air on January 8th, 3 days before the main Golden Globe ceremony. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
Man, remember the good old days? Floppy disks, dial-up internet, and that time Stifler wrecked the prom?
Yeah, well, it's 2025 now. Time to grow up and grab a real laptop from Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
I'll set up SaskTel internet, maybe stream some Max TV, or relive the American Pie trilogy in glorious HD.
Upgrade that sad flip phone while you're at it.
Whoa! Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
Weather for Linex Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and Croft Electric. 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all electrical needs. CroftElectric.com and all socials.
Quite a bit of cloud cover through the night and temperatures down to around 0 by morning. A little bit of a breeze, wind chills down mid-single numbers. On the negative side, temperatures, though, very quickly come up on Thursday. Warm enough that what develops as far as precipitation is rain showers will climb up to around 9. The wind picks up Thursday night. The temperatures drop pretty sharply Thursday night after a mild day. We get down to -2 overnight, and as the temperature falls, rain showers will taper off, but mixed with some flurries as they do, so little or no accumulation, but some light snow mixing in through the overnight hours, and a couple of flurries are still possible early Friday. The day as a whole just mostly cloudy, and temperatures cooler, in fact likely not rising at all, staying in the minus single numbers, trailing off to -5 by day's end. A sunny, cool day on Saturday at -6, cloud cover mixing with sunshine Sunday, the high -2. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
For 40 years, the team from Linex Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment, ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Linex Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Dan from Croft Electric tells us why it's worth it to have your farm's electrical done right.
You don't go to the cheapest eye doctor. You want to go to one that's going to make sure that the product and whatever you need is done right. So that's what you may have to pay a little extra to get us there, but we'll make sure that whatever your electrical project is, Croft Electric will make sure it's done right.
Croft Electric.
We believe we'd be the right choice for you.
CroftElectric.com.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Regina Motor Products early tire swap offer on now. Book before October 31st to save $10 on an on-rim and $20 on an off-rim tire changeover. Visit Regina Motor Products today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Jam-packed last hour coming up. Harry is with me today. Been having a blast. If you missed any of it, go listen in podcast form. Ken Reid from Sportsnet, Eric Francis, Tom Sargeant. We still have the high school football report coming up. We're going to talk to Sean Campbell, play-by-play voice of the Montreal Alouettes, and the junior football report. Our question today for people to win West Final tickets, 2 of them, just anybody texting in, most annoying fan base or fan base that you despise. Front runner by 1,000 yards in this program anyways, Winnipeg. And then I would say followed by Saskatchewan.
Yeah, very interesting.
I just
self-loathing.
And then this is Dion from Regina. Whoever said Habs fans are the worst, Leafs and Riders are easily most irritating fan teams or fans in team sports. If you're a Leafs fan and a Riders fan, you totally suffer. Both teams have no clue what it's like to win a championship. Leafs haven't won a cup since 67, and the Riders have 4 cups in like 200 years. Dion in Regina.
And that kind of goes back to what we talked about at the start, where there was 2 types of fans, right? The ones that either win all the time and you hate them because they win everything, or the ones that act like they're going to win everything and never do. And so those fans are annoying because they're like, we're going to do it this year. This is our year. We're going to start the parade route. Like,
yeah. We talked about this in hour. We talked about these guys in hour 1, the Dallas Cowboys. I feel they've kind of come down to earth a little bit, but Alfred just texted in saying Dallas Cowboys by far the most annoying. You said the New York Jets fall into that category.
It's for sure.
They haven't really won.
And then on a whole other planet is college, American college sports, which is a whole other animal.
We've had a few Moose Jaw Warriors. We've had a few people from obviously around Moose Jaw mentioning the Regina Pats. We've had SJHL teams going back and forth. It was Melville calling out Yorkton, Yorkton calling out Melville. Those two, I think the jostle and the garlic belt over there. All in good fun. It's been fun. We'll keep that going. It is the last weekend. This is so cool. I'm going to talk to the head coach of the Miller Marauders coming up on Friday, I think it is, as they play Holy Cross in the provincial 6A championship. But all the other provincial championships are going down 6-a-side, 9-a-side, all that. We love covering it here. Let's get into it. It's our high school football report.
Time now for Friday Night Lights, your weekly look at the exciting high school football scene in Saskatchewan. Brought to you by Warren Steinley, Member of Parliament at Regina Louvain, and always on Saskatchewan's side.
It's the final edition of Friday Night Lights, we think, for Warren Steinley. Always on Saskatchewan's side, like he said, MP for Regina Louvain. All right, here we go. In Hafford, 2 o'clock Saturday, Lemberg-Hafford. It was a matchup most thought was going to happen for the 1A 6-a-side provincial final. It should be a good one. The Conso side in Hanley, Carrot Rivers in Hanley. So that is your 1A 6-a-side. 2A, it's going to come down to Clavette and Watrous. The game is going in Watrous. Lock the doors at Mainline Motors, both of them on Saturday. We got a football game, and we got a provincial final football game. 1 o'clock in Watrous. Clavette is in town. The Conso side there is in Rosetown. Walkout will take on Rosetown. That is your 2A 6-a-side. All right, we're moving over to 9-a-side, the provincial final. Humboldt, Lumsden. Humboldt upset maybe a bit. Some expected Melfort to be there, but it was Humboldt 42-16 over Melfort last weekend. So it is going to be 1 p.m. in Humboldt on Saturday. Lumsden, Humboldt for the 9-a-side provincial final. And then the 5A 12-a-side. Well, it's in Moose Jaw. Guthridge Field, 1 o'clock. Moose Jaw Central. Regina Johnson had a chance to catch up with Regina Johnson's head coach and find out more about his team and how it went last weekend. Joining us, Dylan Hart. All right, Dylan, congratulations. First off,
thank you
for the Johnson squad. Tight one against BJM last week, 12-7. How did that game go?
It was good. I would argue, or I would call it, I guess, a defensive struggle. We had a little bit of a tough time. I mean, BJM did too, kind of getting our offenses going. Both defenses were playing some great football. Ended up kind of getting a little bit of the advantage near the end of the second quarter there, getting a field goal and then a safety. And then third quarter, we just came back out firing and were able to put a ball in the end zone in the fourth quarter, and then just held on tight for a pretty wild ride into the end of that game. Like, they scored with a couple minutes left or 3 minutes left, and it was, the heart rate was up pretty high for the remainder of that game until the clock hit zeros.
What's Johnson all about this year? Kind of, been talked to Kelly Adams last week. He said you guys, kind of building for this year, but you got a lot of young studs as well.
Yeah, so we definitely, I would say that we've been we've had this group of grade 12s for 3-4 years now, and have been building towards something big for a big finish this year. But yeah, we do have a lot of younger players, a lot of grade 10s and 11s who are studs as well that are gonna kind of step up in the next year or two. So we should compete and have a pretty good squad the next couple of years as well.
All right, it's always special for grade 12s. Let's give a shout out to some of the seniors this year that have been stepping up and will be playing their last high school football game in a provincial final Saturday.
With our grade 12s this year, we have some really, really big time players, like our linebacking core. For the last 3-4 years, actually, we've been able to get some really kind of top end players in that spot. So, one of the big improvements we've had this year is number 0, Chef Sadiq, brother of Sadiq out in UBC right now, and was a Thunder guy for a few years there. His play at that will spot for us has been absolutely huge. He's been flying around the field, making plays, ended up being second in the defensive points this year. And then our other linebackers in that spot, we have Asai Okolek at dime, who has been just a marquee player for us, and he's signing somewhere. It hasn't come out as official yet, so I can't quite say it yet, but he's looking to play at the next level as well, and going to have a great opportunity there. But he has been one of the keys to that linebacking core, along with Josh Haney, who is a Regina Christian student, but they play for us, number 42, and he's been a huge player for us this year as well, with tons of tackles. So those three guys are 1, 2, and 3 in defensive points. They're 2, 3, and 4, I guess. One of the Martin players overtook them, but they're leading the league in defensive points, making tackles, flying around the field, echoing calls out, and just being great leaders all around. And then filling in with our linebacking core as well is 22, Nathan Shanehofen. So he was playing safety for us for the first couple a couple games, and then we got a few guys back and then transitioned him into that Sam spot. We do run a 3-4, and he's been just incredibly helpful and useful there, and just doing a great job playing some good football for us. So linebacking core, those are kind of the guys we have there. And next up, I'll go through some receivers and just kind of go through the numbers here. So number one is Colton Thompson for us. He is a grade 12 receiver. He led the league this year as well in receiving yards, and has just been, again, he's one of our captains, a great leader everywhere on the field. We're two-way in him. He's playing defensive back as well, and he's stepped up and played some big football for us this year. We also have with him another grade 12 receiver, Grayson Natamagan, a 6'4", 220-pound menace on the field. A couple of injuries late in the season, so didn't get any action in our semifinal or our city final game this year, but was able to come back against BJM. And as I spoke about before, the game was really tight, and then we in the fourth quarter put one in the end zone, and he was the one that made an incredible one-handed grab, reeled that ball in, and just made a huge play for us when we needed it. And throwing to those guys, we have our quarterback, Nathan Demian. So we got him in grade 11 and has been starting since then. So was able to get us or help bring us to a provincial semifinal last year where we just fell a little bit short against PA Carleton. But this year he's been a whole new player, firing the ball around the field, leading the men, and just doing a great job at that type of spot, and being a guy that we can kind of depend on to get the ball out to the guys that we need the ball to be sent out to. Here we have Hudson Thiessen as well. So he's a linebacker, special teams guy for us. Grade 12 dude, runs like a 4.7 40. And he's been all over the field this year for us, making plays. Xander Lindholm, number 13. He is our boundary corner, suffered a hamstring injury a few weeks back. And so Saskatchewan hasn't got a good chance to see him here for these last 4 or 5 weeks. But we're looking forward to getting him back this week, and hopefully getting him back, I should say, and getting to see him run. He's a fantastic defensive back and has made some huge plays for us for the last 2 years. There are quite a few grade 12s that we have, and so we got 32 as well. Caden Nagy is a defensive lineman for us. Again, disruptive, hard hitter, fast off the line. He's been just incredible to be able to bring back and to bring back this year and kind of be a big staple of our defense. And he kind of sets up alongside Justin McMillan, who is our nose tackle. But last year he blew out his whole knee, his ACL, PCL, MCL, everything you could possibly imagine.
Jeez.
So we lost him last year, and then this year we had him against Campbell. I messed it up a little bit again against Campbell, and then just came back in the city final for us and has been absolutely disruptive. This is the semifinal of the Regina playoff semifinal. Came back for us, and that one has been absolutely disruptive. If you get a chance to see this kid, he's 6'7", huge wingspan, hard to throw a ball over. Getting him back has been a huge part of our defense that's helped us step up and get to the level that we need to get to win these hard games at the end of the season. Our field goal kicker, Adnan Tanko, playing a little bit of defensive back actually as well, but he's been obviously instrumental in getting us those extra points. And that game against BJM there, if not for him, it was a 25-yard field goal, I believe. If not for him putting that in, right, we don't kind of get that momentum to finally put a score on the board for, it kind of felt like whoever's going to score first here is going to end up taking this game because it was such a struggle.
Just what are you expecting from Moose Jaw? Quickly on that, you've obviously watched a lot of tape. You guys are preparing. What do you think Moose Jaw Central is going to bring? So
Moose Jaw Central is going to be a little bit different than BJM. BJM runs, cover 3 hold on their defense. I'm an offensive guy, so I'm often looking at that. And they run cover 3 holds quite a bit and are very, very solid at it. But what we're going to see out of Moose Jaw Central is they're going to mix up some coverages, some cuts, some man, maybe a little bit of hold here and there. D-line looks strong. Linebackers move well. Belcher, I think everybody knows about him. He's going to be a guy to watch for sure. So he plays half for them, and he's one of their slot backs, number 2. They target him quite a bit. He's going to be a weapon that we're going to definitely have to take care of. And just like us here at Johnson, we know that Moose Jaw Central is watching the same amount of film. They're trying to prep their guys the same way that we are. End of the day, we're going to see another tough football team that we're going to have to buckle down and play some good football in order to beat. And I know they're thinking the same thing over there. So, yeah, we're going to see some hard hitters on their defense and some finesse guys and some really strong offensive players on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, so exciting. Provincial final. Yeah. Oh, man, these kids are going to remember it forever. You're going to remember it forever. Dylan, thanks so much for doing this. Congratulations, and have a blast on Saturday.
Oh, we sure will, man. Thanks a lot.
Friday Night Lights has been brought to you by Warren Steinley, MP for Regina Louvain all year. Warren's always on Saskatchewan side. Exciting, isn't it, Harry?
Very cool. The memories that those kids will have from being in the provincial final, regardless, all the other sports too, like volleyball, hoopla, all that stuff. That's stuff that they'll never forget, no matter what they do for the rest of their lives. It's just that one of those things that's a big part of who they are, for sure.
Yeah. We have a lot of people entered to win West Final tickets again from all the text messages today on the Prairieland Rentals text line. Kat says, most annoying fans by far, Riders and Leafs. Shane and Rhonda are jumping on the Bombers bus. Bombers by far leading. Perry and Tom said the Habs fans that I know. And then a new one, Steve said Bombers fans by far. And Jeffrey from the YouTube feed. Man, he's annoying. Jeffrey's always getting into the mixer on the YouTube feed. Still some time to get in for the West Final tickets. 936-6262, the Prairieland Rentals text line. Have you made any? It's been an hour. Made any more sense of the Dinwiddie to Ottawa?
No, I like what you thought, where it's his stepping stone. If he wants to be more than just a head coach and he wants to work his way up into the front office, and they're going to give him the reins, makes sense.
Yeah, that was the big news.
That's the working theory now.
Let's we'll have some more info on the ticker on Riders and who is on the field when we come back from break, and then Sean Campbell, play-by-play voice of the Montreal Alouettes and the Montreal Canadiens. And Junior Football Report a little bit later. It is a Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com.
Thank you, Rider Nation. The Riders Foundation 50-50 jackpots have been massive this season, and it's all thanks to you. When you buy your 50-50, you're supporting amateur football across the province. It's playoff time, and like the games, the 50-50 gets bigger in the playoffs. Can we get it to $1 million, Rider Nation? Maybe higher. Don't get hit with regret. Buy your 50-50 tickets at riders5050.ca and go Riders.
Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC. Lottery license LR250011.
All the farmland and equipment you could need are available at auction this fall with Ritchie Brothers. A wide variety of farmland auctions across Western Canada will begin in earnest in October and run into December to get you ready for the next season. With new parcels of land and equipment continually added to their inventory, make sure to visit their website so you never miss an opportunity. Head over to rbauction.com to get started. Again, that's rbauction.com.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Ugh, what do I want for supper? There's a bag of baby carrots, a slice of cheese that looks haunted.
Step away from the sad cheese, Dave.
What, the fridge? Since when do you talk?
Since you've been standing here for 10 minutes whispering pizza or cereal like it's a hostage negotiation. I'll make this simple. Order Western Pizza. You are welcome.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Keyshawn Johnson back on the practice field for the Riders. Roland Milligan Jr. was full participant today. Keyshawn was partial. Shane Ray, Mario Anderson, and Ajoa Joe not on the field. CFL news. It is Ryan Dinwiddie time in Ottawa, new GM and coach there. Western Hockey League tonight, Brandon hosts Swift. Calgary's in Moose Jaw. Prince Albert is in Lethbridge. Some NHL. Toronto welcomes Utah. Calgary plays host to Columbus, and Chicago and Vancouver go at it. It's for Steelcraft Doors in Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Regina Steelcraft Doors. Speaking of NHL hockey, let's go to Sprinkle of the Day for Sports Select. And it's Nazem Kadri's 1,000th game. We talked to Eric Francis earlier. I think it's an emotional night in Calgary. Can the Flames do it? On the pro line, they're paying $210. So not bad. The over-under on that one is 6.0. So maybe an emotional night for Calgary. You can parlay it maybe with Seattle and San Jose. I don't know enough about those two teams yet. Vancouver, Chicago, there's an interesting one. Blackhawks playing back-to-back nights. Sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online now. Generate a QR code. Lock it in at your local Lotto Spot retailer. 100% legal. Cash in hand. Bet with the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Sportselect.com. All right, let's go back out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Talk some CFL football. All right, our friend Sean Campbell is joining us. Montreal Alouettes play-by-play voice, avid golfer. We found out the last time he was here in August in our studio. So 3 avid golfers. Are you still golfing out there in Montreal? Can you make us jealous at all?
I wish I could say yes. But that is not the case. I have not picked up the clubs in like a month, and that's probably the Alouettes' fault because they've been taking up most of my weekends the last few weeks because it's just been way too busy. My busy months are October, November, so it just once mid-September hits, even if the weather's nice, it's hard to get 4 or 5 hours to get out there. So no, unfortunately, I have not picked up the clubs in a while, and I think it'll be maybe April, May, if I'm lucky.
Yeah. Well, we're all retired unless we get away in the winter for sure. That game against Winnipeg last weekend in the semi, was it ever in doubt for you calling the game? Like, I know Winnipeg kind of comes, and Luke Mullender woke up from a nap and he's like, what am I watching here? These highlights? But was it ever in doubt for you in the booth?
Well, I'll tell you this. I think that the doubt was because it was the Bombers, and the Bombers are just chock full of veterans. And the veterans, they went into halftime and they got, they probably had to reset a little bit. And when you have a team led by Zach Caleros and you have a team led by Brady Oliveira, you're going to be able to reset. And they were able to do that. And you have interceptions early in the half, the fumble, the first 2 possessions. I think it showed a lot of, from the Alouettes that they were able to reset after that first 6 minutes of the third quarter. But I'll say at one moment, it's like, what is happening here? Because the Alouettes were falling apart, but they just have too many good players for them to completely fall apart. I thought Jason Moss put it perfectly. That game was exactly how their season went. Great start, disappeared a little bit in the middle, but finished strong. So I think that was just a display that the Alouettes were able to reset mid-game to get back to where they were to take advantage, because they were the better team. They just fell asleep a little bit like Luke Mullender did.
Oakman suspended. Neil Thorpe always going to find a way going into Hamilton. Any worry there?
I think that everybody was talking about what the big issue was not only that Oakman was suspended, is that Mustafa Johnson's been banged up ever since that game in Winnipeg. And that game in Winnipeg, Lawal Ugwak and Johnson got hurt in the second quarter, did not play in the second half, and the worry was, will they play? So then they go in against the Bombers in the East semifinal. No Johnson, Oakman suspended. Who's Corey Roberson? Well, Corey Roberson probably had one of the biggest plays of the game, forcing the fumble on Brady Oliveira. Yeah. And he's been sitting there on the practice roster. He got a couple games in this year, and the team just said, we believe in him, and we believe that he's going to have a good opportunity. So, yeah, they had to move on from Sean Oakman just like that out of nowhere. Talking to Danny Machocha, he said, we kind of felt like this was coming because we got wind of this, and we felt like, yeah, we're going to have to let him go. So they kind of knew a couple days. It wasn't like as we found out a day before. Mm-hmm. I think he had wind of this after the investigation, knowing that it was coming. But the good news is you're getting light participation from Mustafa Johnson at practice this week. So that's going to be a big factor up against the Ticats getting him in. But Noel Thorpe believes in this defense, even if they're missing 2 of their big weapons right in the middle. So they'll go 3-4. They'll move Ugwak into the middle. They'll make some adjustments.
On the other side of the ball, this might be the most obvious question, but do you think there's still people out there that don't think Davis Alexander can lead this team to a Grey Cup?
Who are they?
That's what I mean. Do you think there's anybody left? Like, do you think that he's silenced everybody and that's it? It's.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what he can do. Maybe he has to win one to prove it. I have this long-standing, on my show, because we talk hockey all the time. I will never predict the Buffalo Sabres to make the playoffs until they make the playoffs. Like, I will never believe in them, never in my life, until they actually win the playoffs. And if they go in the playoffs, I'll never pick them to win the Stanley Cup. Maybe there's people like me that feel that way, but I don't know who can watch what Davis Alexander has done this year, what he's done last year. And I know it's limited. It's a limited amount of games, but he's got everything you want in a starting quarterback in the CFL. And he just has gone out there game after game and proven it. And even when he throws an interception, he bounces back. Even when he's yakking and distracted by the opposition and trash talking, he still goes out there and performs. And yes, he's young and he's still got a lot to learn, but there's too many weapons there for anybody not to believe that he could lead the Owls to the Grey Cup. It's not going to be easy. You have to go into Hamilton, then you have to go into Winnipeg against either BC or Saskatchewan, but he's got all the tools. I don't see how anybody doesn't believe he doesn't have the tools.
I never have gotten, Harry, even back to our days, early 2000s and working on Global, and people are like, oh, he's cocky. No, he's confident. No, he's cocky. No, why can't it just be the same thing? Who cares? Really? That's the word that I heard, and I was listening this week to a few, and it's like, well, he's cocky. And then someone's like, no, he's confident. Really, who cares? Go and get the job done and walk however you want to walk. Be comfortable in your own skin. Sean, who does he remind you of, if anybody, from a CFL quarterback over the years? Is he a young Bo Levi Mitchell? Is he got a little bit of Henry Burris in him? Like, who would he remind you of, Sean?
That's a good question. Now you got me thinking. And I the cocky, confident, I like that comparison, but I just call it he's got a lot of bravado. He just
semantics.
It's however you want to. He's got a lot of bravado. I've talked to him many times. He is humble. He knows where he came from, but when he hits that field, he has to act a certain way. And maybe it's because he's an undersized quarterback that other teams never believed in. You have to be able to walk up and believe in yourself when you get out there. And there's a confidence as a quarterback when you run that offense. You can't have anybody that walks into a huddle that second guesses themselves. I think back to Alouettes quarterbacks, and he's definitely not AC. Like, AC carried himself completely different, which is so weird because he's his coach. And then if I'm going across the CFL, I like your young Bo Levi Mitchell, but waiting in the wings a little bit. He was a third string there in Calgary. It was the same thing. Davis Alexander waited in the wings before he got that opportunity. Then you saw him once, you're like, well, he's got to be the starter. And that's even what the general manager did. I think there's a little bit, not the style of play, but I feel Nathan Rourke carries himself that way a little bit with, he's got a little bit in your face and I'm the guy. I think Nathan Rourke had to, earn that because Vernon Adams Jr. has always had that confidence. There's another very confident quarterback, Vernon Adams Jr., undersized guy that kind of makes of it by the way that he performs. He's not a barker, though. Vernon Adams Jr. is not a barker like Davis Alexander is. He might be one of one too, right? We're still learning about who he is and what he's able to do. But I'll tell you, that confidence or bravado or cockiness, he lets it out there on. And I'm watching. You go through the highlights here. A lot of these balls that he was throwing, the one to Mac, the one down the field, that's against the wind. This guy is he's got the arms and the arm strength, and he absolutely loves throwing darts down the field, and he doesn't care if he's with the wind or against the wind.
If anything is his downfall, what is it? Like, what's his Achilles heel, if you will? Like, what is going to be his undoing?
And it'll be his confidence, because I've seen him, and when he came back from injury the first time, in the first half, I'm trying to think of the game, he had 3 incompletions. They were all balls that were 40 yards down the field, and it wasn't the play that was called. he just felt, he's like, I'm going to go and make a play. And they were incomplete. They weren't interceptions, but those could turn interceptions. Those could be getting away from the game plan. He spoke about how there was a couple plays against Winnipeg that he got away from the game plan. He messed up the call in the huddle, maybe because he's too overhyped and too excited after a play. Jason Moss is calm, sending him in the play, and then he's like, misses half of it, and then he just calls whatever he wants to call. That might be a little bit his downfall on that. And the other aspect is, I know we had a rushing touchdown from 3 yards out, but that was just walking in. Prior to his hamstring injury, his running was explosive. He was able to make plays when he was in the pocket to get to the edge. He has been very limited in his running. He had one big run like almost every game, but in the past it was maybe 3 or 4 big runs that he was able to get a first down. Now it's like one a game. That's it. So his ability to move since the hamstring injury, or his ability to say, I'm not going to run because I'm scared I'm going to pull it a week before the Grey Cup, that might be something that limits him against Hamilton.
I think I read this. Is this his first live look at the Tiger Cats and vice versa?
It's the Tiger Cats' first look at Davis Alexander, yes.
Okay. Who has the upper hand there? Him or them?
Him.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at the Ticats defense and I'm looking at Davis Alexander, I think Davis Alexander doesn't care who he's up against. Yes, he's got to read the defense. Yes, he has to pre-scout. Yes, he has to coach. But I don't think he really cares. And I think that the Ticats have to care about Davis Alexander or what he can do in that pocket. Yes, they got a pre-scout for Stevie Scott, who's kind of come out of nowhere. He was on the practice roster to start. They had Sean Thomas Erlington, then they went to Travis Tice, and now they're at Stevie Scott. But I would say the bigger issue will be for the Ticats to scout Davis Alexander. You could look at the clips, you could try and break down what the Alouettes do, but the game plan that Jason Moss puts forward is based around what Davis Alexander will be able to do and read.
What do you expect Thorpe to dial up against Bo Levi in that Hamilton offense?
I think he wants to make sure that they're going to try and turn to the run game. But even that run game, we call it a run game, but it's going to be a check down game. That's what the Ticats do. I don't know how much they're going to blitz them. You see in the CFL, you blitz a veteran quarterback, they kind of know how to read. They know where the blitz is coming. They're going to be able to find that guy. So in past, the Owls, they see a young quarterback, and you'll see zero blitz almost on every play. They're like, we're going to force you to throw the ball and make a decision. You are going to have to beat us. But with Bo Levi Mitchell, I don't know if Noel Thorpe will have confidence. He'll throw a blitz. They'll throw an extra guy, a 5 guy. Maybe they'll send in a DB every now and then to try and surprise them. But I wouldn't be shocked to see 3, max 4-man rush. And the receivers are going to have to beat the Owls DBs. That's what I see Noel Thorpe doing. I don't know. I trust me, I have not broken into his mind. It is a tough mind because he's probably thinking that's what they're thinking. So I'm going to do this. Right. There could be a whole way here. I don't have any inside knowledge of what they're going to do, but watching Noel Thorpe and the way that he does, I know that he sometimes holds back against veteran quarterbacks because they have that ability to throw down the field and they are able, to read the blitzes a lot better than the younger ones.
I expect a tight game, but I, in the back of my head here, the gambler in me, I'm like 3 points. I can see this getting away quickly from Hamilton.
There's a couple factors. Offense, maybe they go toe-to-toe. Maybe, each offense puts up 3 touchdowns. They go toe-to-toe, 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals each. Okay, let's hand the offenses 27 points each because they can do that. I think that, there's a factor that James Letcher Jr. is healthy and he's back. He has not returned a kick, but the amount of kicks that he returns in timely fashion, like the Owls are out of a game and then next thing you know, he takes a punt and he'll return it 50 yards. Instead of starting at their own 15, the Alouettes are starting at midfield. That changes everything. And the Owls have this uncanny ability defensively to find that football, scoop and score, pick 6. Now, they had less of them this year, but the opportunities were there. the opportunities were there. You just go back a couple weeks ago, Kebianento had one in his hands, and I can't believe he didn't bring that one in. But those, I could see the game being turned where it might be an extra 7 in one direction because of a special teams or a defensive touchdown.
Okay, well, we have you here. We have to ask the voice of the Montreal Canadiens some Habs questions, if that's okay. You're juggling both right now. Who's the number one goalie in Montreal?
The number one goalie is, I don't know, Dopimbo. They're kind of trying to put them together. It's Dobesh right now, I would say, but Montembeault just got 2 straight starts. He split that one. He had a little bit of a rough one around Philadelphia in the first period, but he battled back and made some big saves in overtime to get him that point. They lose in a shootout. I believe it's still Montembeault. Dobesh is going to get the start this week in New Jersey. That's a good start. He might get Utah. He might get back-to-back. Right now, it's kind of a 50-50, and you know why it's a 50-50? Because before every game, the coach is going to be asked who's starting. That's how you know you don't have a number one. And that's why maybe you feel like you have 2 number ones. But if the coach is getting asked before every game who's starting, then you know that you don't really have a number one anymore. So it's they'll battle back and forth. We'll see who comes out on top. But right now, the Habs are top of the Eastern Conference and 19 points, so they're feeling good. So, you think Montembeault's going to probably come back to where he was, and Dobesh is probably going to come back to earth a little bit. And they'll probably meet in the middle.
What's more surprising, the overall start or that road record?
I think it's the overall start, but that's what they wanted in training camp. That was the message from Marty St. Louis. Is last year we had a really bad start, and at the end of November they were in last place. And they were able to claw their way all the way back into a playoff spot, which is incredible because they had a December run where they beat Florida, Colorado, Tampa Bay, and Dallas. And then you were like, how did you beat all these teams when you never win on this crazy Christmas road trip? But they were able to do that. They didn't want to put themselves in that spot. And they're almost in a spot where it's so weird, 13 games a season. If they go 500 for the rest of the season, they'll probably be in a playoff spot. And yes, point. They're taking... There's a lot of close games, though. Like every game. I think there's been the win on Detroit where they won 5-1 on the road. Other than that, everything's been a 1-goal game. There's a couple of 2-goal games, but there was an empty net in there. Everything's so close. They're winning games in overtime. They're losing games in shootout. So they just have a great battle in every single game. So that's why they do well on the road, because of how well they battle. But probably the start that they're on top, but it's so close in the Eastern Conference. You could lose 2 games and be out of the playoffs.
Okay, the professor sent in a couple of questions I got to ask you, a big Habs fan. He said, so the last time the same team won the Calder Rookie of the Year twice in a row was Boston in 67 with Orr and 68 with Sanderson. Last year, Habs D-man Lane Hudson won the award. Do you think winger Ivan Demidov will win the Calder for Montreal again this year?
Well, I think Matthew Schaefer has a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
With the start that he's put in. We saw it last year with Lane Hudson. A lot of voters put a little bit of stock on the young defenseman because it's a harder position.
Yeah.
And not only that he's a young defenseman, he's an 18-year-old defenseman. He's a teenage defenseman. Lane Hudson won as a young defenseman, but he was a 20-year-old defenseman, and he won that. So now you have Schaefer at 18. Now, how long will he be able to keep that up? I'm not sure. You think he's going to hit a wall a little bit with the minutes that he's playing, and he's not on a great team. Demidov, however, is in a better situation, and he might be picking up 70 to 80 points, and you pick up 80 points as a rookie. Just go back over the last 20 years. The last player to do that was Barzal with 85, and then if you get close to 90, that's almost unheard of. As a rookie, you may have to lean that, but there's a good chance Demidov is a rookie. And here's the thing. Habs fans know that there's more coming down the pipeline. Habs fans have been talking about winning the Calder with Hudson, Demidov, and then maybe next year Michael Hage, and then in 2 years, Jacob Fowler, the goaltender, will be ready to go as he's been in there. So the closet's stock full of potential rookies. And by the way, there's this other Russian kid ripping it up in the KHL at 18 years old, Zakarski, and he's getting a point a game at 18 years old, so watch out for him. So the Habs have done some pretty good drafting lately.
They have. Okay, last one from the professor. He says, I wanted to know what's the difference between Montreal this year compared to last?
Hockey-wise, you have the youngest team in the NHL, but with that much more experience. So it's weird. They're actually younger than they were last year. So last year they were the youngest team ever to make the playoffs, and they got younger this year, but they have all that experience that they went through last year. So now that's a big difference. And if you look at the start of the season, last year they had a 20% power play that was good for 20th in the league. They're over 30% now, and possibly could be a top 5 power play in the league. That'll be a huge difference.
All right. Well, yeah, you are a busy guy. So we caught you at a good time. Hopefully today, some downtime. Too bad about the golfing. And then, next week we might have to do this again as we prepare for the Grey Cup. You'll be in Winnipeg. We'll have to catch up.
Well, that's if the Owls win. If the Owls don't win, I'll be back home in my office.
Yeah, maybe
you can call me anyways.
Maybe you can get around in. Yeah. All right, Sean. Thanks, man.
Hey, have a good one.
There is play-by-play voice of the Montreal Alouettes and of the Montreal Canadiens on the radio side, Sean Campbell. You're a big Detroit guy, Harry, and Detroit is projecting up and where they are in the standings and all that. But like he said, though, the East is so tough.
Yeah, very much so. And it's I cringed a little bit when he mentioned that 5-1 win over Detroit being the biggest margin of victory for the Habs this year. It was opening night, it wasn't a big deal, but the Wings haven't looked back since that night, that's for sure. And they've looked good, but yeah, so much can change. Those teams are so good, and it's such a tough conference that like he said, you lose a few games and other teams win, you could be out of a playoff spot like nothing.
It's funny because the Habs they're good and they're going to be good for years to come here. So it's like, oh yeah, so I'm starting to find out. It's like, oh yeah, you are a Habs fan. Oh yeah, you're a Habs fan. Haven't talked hockey with you in a long time. All these Habs fans are coming
they come out of the woodwork.
That was Sean Campbell joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Time for a break. We still got more Rider audio to come, and the Junior Football Report. It is the Sportscage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
So since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it. I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Harvard Heals with the annual Jim Pattison Children's Hospital Radiothon.
Hello, my name is Marjorie Smith. I'm the mom of Isabel Smith. Isabel was born in February 2014 in Yorkton, Saskatchewan, and since then have had many tests, many treatments. She's been diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy with lower limb predominance. A broken femur is something that, it takes a lot to break a femur. So then right away we were worried, well, what was the reason for that? It was shocking because we weren't expecting anything like that. Her ultrasounds during my pregnancy were fine. So we were totally shocked. If it's not in the hospital, it's at the Alvin Buchwald Child Development Program. We see the same specialists and have the same doctors and same nurses. And they really learn about Isabel and her condition, and they learn about her as a kid. They learn about our family. We know when we're going in for x-rays, for instance, they'll remember what kind of sticker she likes and which character she's into at the time. So it's been amazing having that experience to work with a team that really, truly is supporting Isabel. The progress for Isabel has really been exponential because you have that repetition and you're working with the same therapists every month. Oh, from the bottom of my heart and her heart and our family's heart, just a huge thank you. The donations, they make such a difference so that this hospital and these programs continue to support our kids, and it wouldn't be there without all of the support from the province. So thank you.
Donate now. Call 1-888-808-KIDS. That's 1-888-808-5437.
It's home reno season, and with that Regina wind chill, you're better off renovating than relocating. Stay productive with a little help from Freeze Tallman. From drywall and molding to installation and interior doors, they've got everything you need to renovate your space. Freeze Tallman's delivery team can also deliver right to your home if you live in Regina, Fort Capel, or anywhere in southern Saskatchewan. Freeze Tallman's got you covered this reno season. Visit freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
Affordability in Canada is getting worse. Canadians are now paying nearly half their paycheck towards taxes. That's more than on food, clothing, and shelter combined. It's unacceptable. Conservatives stand with hardworking Canadians and will take aim at the affordability crisis by bringing down taxes, cutting spending towards needless bureaucracy and consultants, and fight for fiscal discipline in this Liberal government. My name is Warren Stanley, your Conservative Member of Parliament for Regina Leuven, and I will always be on Saskatchewan's side.
Paid ad by Warren Steinley.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262 for Prairie Land Rentals. Renting heaters, skid steers, and most power tools for all those winter jobs. And your official Husqvarna snow thrower dealer. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner.
This is the Sportscage Junior Football Report with Dave Thomas.
The Canadian Junior Football League season will come to a close this weekend with the Canadian Bowl Championship game. The Prairie Football Conference champions, Saskatoon Hilltops, will host the BC champions, Okanagan Sun. The Hilltops haven't played since their 30-27 overtime win in the PFC final against the Regina Thunder on October 26th. The Sun, meantime, knocked off the St. Clair Saints 34-19 in the national semifinal and will face the Hilltops in a rematch of the 2015 national championship game, a contest won by the Toppers 38-14. Saskatoon quarterback Griffin Sander now joins me. And Griffin, how long did it take to come down from that thrilling PFC final win?
A few days there. Felt like we were kind of up on a cloud there, but it's nice to come down for a bit, to be honest.
Can you relive that game in your mind? Like, are there moments that stand out to you that you just can't maybe believe happened?
I've watched the film a couple times, and we watched it as a group collectively, and there's quite a few plays there, especially the conversions on third downs and the 2-point conversion and the touchdown to tie it, then the 2-point conversion, and then the touchdown in overtime, especially those ones for sure.
Okay, I would be remiss if I didn't ask about the final pass that you threw in the PFC in that final game at Mosaic Stadium. Walk me through it.
So, we had big jet from the boundary side there, tried to pull the safety across, and then Isaiah ran a really great route, and he got open, and I put it up onto him, and then he made a really great catch and scored the touchdown.
Were you in disbelief? Because there seemed to be some stunned and shocked faces when that happened all of a sudden, because you had been running the football efficiently before that.
Yeah, so when I threw it, I didn't actually know if he caught it right away, because when he caught it, he kind of obviously fell onto the ground there, and he was behind the O-line and D-line, so I couldn't actually see him. And then I just kind of heard the crowd erupt, and I looked over at the sideline, and everyone just started kind of running towards me, and that was a pretty sweet moment there.
Now, Griffin, the Saskatoon Hilltops are not the first team to use multiple quarterbacks through the course of a season or even during a game, but I can't recall a team that uses multiple quarterbacks in the midst of different series. Is that the norm?
Not usually, no. It's something, I guess, that we were implementing that game, and we'll just play whichever quarterback I guess was ever right for the moment, and just go from there.
How was that communicated to you? Is that an in-game thing? Is that something you prepared for during the week?
Yeah, so during the PFC week, Coach had let me know that they were going to try and get me in during the game. I'm not sure when or how, but just to kind of try and get me prepared for if or when I was going to go into the game.
And how did you do that mentally or physically? Again, there's only so many reps to go around at practice.
Yeah, always. I've spent a lot of games as a backup, unfortunately, but it helped me for the moment to I've always tried to prepare as if I was a starter for each game. So always prepare each week and each rep as if I'm the starter if that moment ever arises.
200 yards passing, a couple of key completions late in the ball game in regulation and in overtime. Looking back at it, is that a moment that you can put your hand up and say, hey, you know what, that was my opportunity to rise to the occasion, and I did?
I think so, yeah. I think that after I guess 4 years of post-secondary football, I guess that was probably kind of my moment that I was looking for, and it worked out pretty nicely.
Well, you said unfortunately you've been backing up for a lot of those 4 years out of high school. How frustrating is that to have to continually prove yourself, or is that just the norm in football?
I think, yeah, especially at quarterback, of course you only get one per game that's a starter, so I feel like, yeah, it's pretty frustrating, but you got to understand that it's a very important position on the field, and you got to realize that the best player always has to play, and sometimes that's not you, and you just got to keep working hard, and hopefully your moment comes.
Well, it's one of those things that's kind of storybook or made for a movie, and I remember watching you way back in the day when you were taking on my kids when you played at BJM, so it's been a long time since then and a heck of a journey. Can you tell me how that journey has gone for you and how you've grown as a football player on and even as a person off the field?
Yeah, wow. So obviously I started out there at BJM, like you said. I played in grade 10, and then obviously COVID missed grade 11, and then played grade 12, and then went straight to the University of Saskatchewan, where I redshirted my first year, and then I was back up to Anton Amadou the second year, and then the third year I didn't dress. Just kind of sat on the sidelines there for a bit, and then this year at training camp, Coach Sarge called me. I decided to make the switch over, and just felt like, yeah, overall, just becoming more comfortable with myself and comfortable as a man, and just learning a lot about what it's like to be a great teammate, and then, just working hard and getting prepared for those moments.
And all of this while you're attending school, right?
That's right, yeah.
So, take me through what it would mean this weekend to get a Canadian Bowl championship.
Yeah, it'd be really sweet. In high school, I never won a ring or anything, so it'd be really sweet to bring this one home for the city of Saskatoon and all of my teammates and coaches. It'd be awesome.
What does Okanagan, again, they are a tough opponent. You can see it on paper. What have you seen in film?
Yeah, they're a really good team, super athletic, super fast, and they play a really good defense, and it's going to be a great game.
And what does having home field advantage mean to the Saskatoon Hilltops?
It's awesome. Yeah, our fans are super great. We get to sleep in our own beds the night before, and we're just going to be as best prepared as we can.
Well, Griffin, I really appreciate you taking time, even if you did beat my son's team. All the best this weekend in the Canadian Bowl. And again, congratulations on the Prairie Football Conference Championship.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dave.
Kickoff Sunday at Saskatoon Minor Football Field between the Saskatoon Hilltops and Okanagan Sun is at 1 p.m. And that's the Junior Football Report. I'm Dave Thomas. The road to the 112th Grey Cup rolls through Riderville. Don't miss a moment of this weekend's West Final here on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network, 620 CKRM. Saturday, we'll have all the action as your Saskatchewan Roughriders host the BC Lions, where the winner will play for the Grey Cup. We'll break down the matchup with a countdown to kickoff starting at 2:30. Play-by-plays at 5:30. The CFL West Final is brought to you by Young's Equipment, GMS Insurance, and PlayNow.com. Stream every moment of Rider football at Sportscage.com.
One final time today from the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital Radiothon presented by CIBC Wood Gundy. It's that feel-good donation